Fire officials in Orange County, California say while the threat for a major explosion from a damaged chemical tank has been averted, the crisis is not completely over. ABC's Alex Stone.
This whole thing is looking a whole lot better. With that threat gone, with the pressure and the temperature down, they have been able to cool it off. In fact, firefighters saying a few moments ago they are no longer spraying the big stream of water onto it.
Crews are responding to a chemical explosion at a pulp and paper mill in Longview, Washington. A fire official says that there are some injuries, some are serious, but there's no longer a threat to the public. Despite early voting getting underway today in the South Carolina primaries, state lawmakers are debating whether to redraw the congressional map. A three-judge panel in a federal court in Alabama ruled unanimously today that state Republicans are still blocked from using their 2023 congressional map. An appeal is planned. This is ABC News. Parents groups in France calling for more attention to long-ignored child abuse scandals as a rare public trial opened today of a school assistant accused of sexually assaulting 9 small children in Paris. Vermont is allowed to move ahead with its lawsuit against Meta, which claims the company intentionally designed its platforms to be addictive to young people.
Meta had been arguing Vermont doesn't have the jurisdiction, but the Supreme Court is refusing to hear the company's appeal of a lower court's decision. It's the latest in a series of legal battles Meta is fighting over whether it knowingly harms children by including features like the endless scroll on Facebook and beauty filters on Instagram. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Smashing a century-old temperature record for the second time in 24 hours today, Britain. A spring heat wave continues to scorch parts of Western Europe. 95 degrees recorded at London's Kew Garden. 91 was the high in Paris again today. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
A massive chemical explosion in Longview this morning has taken some lives. We have a reporter on scene, and we'll get more straight ahead. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic here in Seattle. We're seeing big backups already. Northbound I-5, we're bumper to bumper between the Michigan Curve past I-90. And then again, as you approach that Ship Canal Bridge, 25 minutes to get through all this. South 405, you're slow from Bellevue into Renton, and North 405, pretty crowded through Bellevue starting at I-90 up to 520. Highway 2 is shut down in both directions about 4 miles west of Coles Corner due to a serious injury with serious collision, that is, with injuries. There's no detour and no estimated time to reopen. And the Clinton Ferry Terminal reporting a 90-minute wait for drivers this afternoon. This report brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. First responders confirm at least 2 people have died in a chemical explosion at a Longview paper mill. KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake is live on scene. Corwin, what have you learned?
And Nate, well, efforts here at the Nippon Dynaware paper mill are now being described by emergency responders as a recovery operation. This after an explosion at 7:15 this morning. A joint statement from the company and from local first responders says a tank containing white liquor, something used in the milling of paper, pulping of paper, ruptured at that time, resulting in multiple critical injuries and an unspecified number at this time of fatalities. The statement also says the scene is in a recovery phase, suggesting there may be a search for more victims who did not survive this tragedy. We still have no word on what may have caused the rupture. We're awaiting a police and fire briefing momentarily. Live in Longview, Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, Corwin. Pierce County deputies are searching for the suspects who robbed and killed a 17-year-old boy in Parkland Sunday evening, and they're asking for the public's help identifying a vehicle of interest. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
Investigators say the victim, 17-year-old Braylon Daniel Diaz, was walking his girlfriend home around 7:30 when a car pulled up, called him over, robbed him of his jewelry, then shot him and drove off. It happened near 102nd Street South and Sheraton Avenue South. Deputies are now looking for a car of interest, a small red 4-door sedan. You can see the picture at mynorthwest.com. Anyone with information or surveillance video should contact the Pierce County Sheriff's Office. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A Seattle condo broker is sounding the alarm about who's leaving Washington and why. Jeff Reynolds of Compass calls it a slow-motion wealth transfer out of the state. He told the Jason Rant Show on Seattle Red 770 that company founders are now leaving.
Some of the brightest people that came to Seattle for the opportunity to build their brand or their company They know that they can't exit or sell their company here, so they're going to Austin. They're going to Dallas-Fort Worth. They're going to Tennessee.
Reynolds points to Tech Hub Sammamish, where active listings are up as much as 250% in some areas. Active listings across Washington jumped 29% in March. He blames Washington's tax policies along with open drug use and street conditions downtown that make condos nearly impossible to sell. Well, eastbound 520 drivers, you're going to get a new off-ramp to Montlake Boulevard next week. WashDOT's Steve Pierce says a new temporary ramp is necessary for construction.
They are shifting the off-ramp to Montlake to a new location. And the reason why they need to do that is just to expand the work zones as we continue building this project.
The new ramp will open early Monday morning after a full weekend closure of eastbound 520. And now look at your KIRO News Radio weather. Partly sunny this afternoon with a high of 63. Mostly sunny Wednesday and Thursday. We start to warm up 73 Wednesday and 77 on Thursday. Right now, it's our 73 Wednesday, 77 Thursday. Okay, rain returns on Friday, though, so enjoy those hot temps. 53 and cloudy in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday out there to everybody. Jake Skorheim sitting alongside Spike O'Neill here. Spike, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, my friend.
Did you have a nice long weekend?
I had a very nice long weekend.
That was a hesitation.
My wife told me to stop answering every question with a story. I told her that's kind of how
she know what business
that's
you're
what
in?
I told her. That's what I told her. She's like, it's a yes or a no, and I'm trying to save my home life. You had a great weekend. Let me tell you all about it.
Does she? Okay, that's fair for a wife.
It is, because I bet you go through the same thing at home.
Well, it's just a different. That's a different audience.
We're storytellers.
Your wife is not necessarily the audience of your radio show.
And
when she's heard. She knows all your stories.
She's heard all my stuff.
Yes.
It's like going to see your favorite comedian for the 800th time.
Yeah.
It just loses a little luster.
Yeah, but there's always a new audience out there that goes, "Hey, you know what? That's a funny bit.
That's a good bit.
I like that."
Yeah.
All right. Well,
had a great. How about you? Did you have a good weekend?
I had a good weekend. We had nothing scheduled, and it ended up being one of the busiest weekends ever. So, which was just
isn't that always the case?
Always the case.
That's the same story I was going to tell. Yep.
Yeah. We were planning. We had no sports this weekend because they say, "Hey, you know what? For the long Memorial Day weekend, families should be with their own. You don't need to worry about chasing your kids around all the different sporting events." So we're all happy about that. And then we're like, "Oh man, 3 sunny days." It's not
Beautiful.
really sunny yesterday, but mostly sunny days.
It was nicer than expected.
Yeah.
The weather missed the holiday for a change.
Yeah.
It showed up this morning was just cruddy and misty and gray.
And then it just filled up like crazy. And then I liked it this morning. See, I like the back and forth.
I do too.
Because it was really hot and it was too hot. And then this morning I'm driving over the trestle as I'm getting onto I-5 and I look off in the distance and just these big giant gray clouds are dumping just sheets of rain up ahead. And I was just like, oh, this is nice.
Do you like the smell of that? I rolled the windows down.
I was driving through cow country at the time, so
that's a different smell.
I didn't love it.
That's a different smell.
I mean, I like it, but a lot of people don't like the manure. But yes, I do like the smell of fresh rain.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a
wonderful.
Nice thing. It is nice. All right. Speaking of smells that people don't like, let's talk about downtown Seattle for just a second.
Is that what the story?
We're going to start this because Aaron Granillo, who's a great reporter out there in the newsroom, you often hear him at the bottom and top of the hour news breaks here. He's also often a guest on the show. We talk a lot of baseball with him. He's a massive baseball fan. But he was just watching, as good reporters do, checking in on Seattle City Council, figuring out what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And this kind of folds in nicely with what we had already decided to discuss for this opening segment, which is we're 3 weeks away from the World Cup. 3 weeks away. And I have a couple questions that I want to get to.
Great.
Number one, do you feel the fervor and the excitement like you thought you would be feeling 3 weeks out from one of the largest events the world over that only happens once every 4 years?
What was this event again?
Exactly.
Thank you.
No, 100%. And I am
underwhelmed.
not feeling it.
I'm underwhelmed.
I am too. Yeah. And I'm a big soccer fan, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm even like looking at prices of games and thinking like, yeah, maybe on some of the lower end, if I sit in the nosebleeds, like I could just to say that I went to a World Cup.
Yeah, get the vibe. Yeah.
The ticket prices range from $211 on the low end up to $58,000, depending on who you're friends with.
If you want to play, halfback.
Yeah, if you want to stick your foot out
Bolivia.
And feel exactly.
You can get on the field for there's a number.
58's a lot. I don't think I'd pay 58, but I might think of the 211 just to say I saw a World Cup.
I mean, you always regret, I think, not buying the ticket.
Collecting experiences. Yep. I'm realizing the older I get, I wish I had collected more experiences that I passed on when I was younger that I didn't do. Like one that sticks with me to this day. There's two that stick with me to this day, and then we'll get into this stuff. Apologies to your wife because we have stories.
Not at all. I'm sure she's listening to.
I'm sure she's not
a book
listening.
on tape.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things I regret is when I was producing for Dory, we were invited, and because they were nice, they usually just invite the host to these things. But I was pretty active on the show and talked a lot. The Blue Angels invited us to fly with them. Now, my wife was just about to have a baby at the time, our first baby. Mm-hmm. She was very nervous about me flying with the Blue Angels. She said, honey, these are the Blue Angels. I'm safer with them than I am walking down the street, statistically.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, I'd make an air quote, collectively, we made the decision for me not to fly with the Blue Angels. That's still something to this day that I go like, oh, my gosh.
Cue Take My Breath Away. It's the background music.
Yes.
It's the stuff of legend.
For the rest of my life.
For the rest of your life. Wow.
Yeah. And then eventually when I got really old and I lose my mind, I would convince myself that I was a Blue Angel. And that'd be nice.
Sure.
Just to live in that.
Sure. Just go back to the seat. Go back
Once
to
the dementia kicks in, I'll just be like, you know what, son? I'll tell all the little kids who visit me at the old home, you know what? Your granddaddy was a Blue Angel. They're like, is Grandpa crazy? And, my kids would look at them and be like, yeah, don't worry about him.
One word, son, danger zone.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. And then the other one that I regret is when the Olympics were up in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Remember when the Winter Olympics up in Whistler?
Yep.
I had no kids. My wife and I had two incomes and no kids. So we were dinks.
Double dinks.
Double income, no kids. So we had the excess money. We had the time off. I didn't drive 3 hours to go see the Olympics, which I could have done very easily. And I didn't. And now I'm looking at the World Cup and I'm thinking to myself, like, am I going to regret not going to the World Cup? I might. So I might buy a $200 ticket to go see Iran play in a game or whatever it is.
But this is all silver lining, great news for you. All these stories we have about World Cup are great for you.
Well, this one with soccer is not so great.
Well, no, I think it's great for you.
I hope it's great.
I think it's great.
Okay. So my back to my larger point. Do people give two cares about the World Cup coming to Seattle? And my assessment right now, as 3 weeks out, so when the World Cup was hosted in Russia, now that might have been state mandated, so that's why they all got into it. Bad example. When it was in Brazil,
okay, I don't know,
but they're wild for soccer.
They're crazy. So it's in the blood.
It's in the blood. So like a year leading up to them hosting the game, you would have been like. People literally would have been renting apartments just so they could have quick, easy access to games.
Yeah.
If they could afford it.
To watch a team bus drive by, that's a life experience.
Yes, but in America, we just don't have the same fervor for the beautiful game.
Yeah.
And so I don't see it happening. And there was a story in Q13 today that I found really fascinating because every part of the article was discussing projections and excitement and leading up to and all these things without any concrete proof that those things are happening yet. They've lowered projections now.
They had we were sold on a projection from FIFA themselves.
750, $1 billion.
FIFA came up with these projections for every city that was hosting World Cup on this continent.
Yeah.
From Vancouver to Mexico City and all points.
Is there 11?
I believe there's 11 cities, on the continent. I'm not sure if it's 11 inside the U.S. or on the continent, but all these different cities, they were pitched by FIFA of the financial boon that was coming our way.
Yeah.
Because we've spent a good bit of money, over approximately over $30 million the city has spent.
I think it's closer to 50.
Is it closer to 50
now?
The number
I saw was $47 million in updates to stadium
FIFA
stuff.
said it'd be about 30, so that makes sense. 47 sounds more accurate.
Yeah.
But to your question, does people give two
cares?
Yeah, thank you. You're really working good. That's clean.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it is. I think it's going to be bigger than the All-Star game.
Really?
I really do.
You think people like soccer more than baseball?
I think the global appeal, because we're talking about folks coming from all over to see this game.
It's true.
We're going to win
that's
back.
what they're hoping.
We're going to win back Canadians with this one. I'm telling you.
Well, doesn't Canada have their own games?
Yeah, but up there you can't get in. Here.
Oh, okay.
Here, it's probably an easier ticket to drive across the border.
It is tough
Come
to get
on
into
down.
Canada.
It's tough to get into those games.
Funny because America gets a lot of grief, but it's tough to get into Canada.
It's what it is. Yeah. I think it's going to be. I think
you're optimistic.
It's not going to be close to 750. It's not going to be 900 million. We've got new, downgraded financial and attendance projections.
They're not saying 100 million less.
Okay.
Which I feel like you could have done just by looking at the hotel numbers. Like we talked about, what was it, 2 weeks ago, that Forbes article that talked to a bunch of hotels in all the different host cities, and the 80% of the hotels reported back, this is actually looking like a non-event as far as like bookings.
Their words, non-event.
Non-event. And so that's a real problem. Seattle ranks, here's the other thing that I found interesting about this. Seattle ranks as the #1 host city in all these different cities when you factor in things like accessibility to downtown. I don't know what you're going to go see downtown, but accessibility to downtown.
We're kind of unique in that our park is downtown.
Yeah.
A lot of these cities have venues that are out in the burbs a little bit.
Yeah. Where's SoFi? I assume they're doing stuff at SoFi in
SoFi's
LA.
not in downtown San Francisco. They are, I think.
LA.
Oh, in
Angeles.
LA. Not in downtown. It's not in the heart of downtown.
Okay.
But if New York, for example, the Meadowlands, for example, they're like $150. They've hiked the price of a train ride
tickets,
to the game.
Yeah.
You know, we're here. You can literally walk, or for the most part, walk around.
Yeah.
They ask you not to drive into town. You can catch a free ferry ride.
You can get a free ferry ride. They got free shuttles now.
Free shuttles, yes.
Yeah.
So in that respect, I can see where we would scoot up the rankings of desirable cities. We had the graffiti cleaned up. We're moving the homeless to Burbank. That's a myth.
That is a myth.
But we are putting our best foot forward. It's the time to be in Seattle.
Here's another question. Is Seattle prepared to keep people safe? Now, this is the part. We just got this audio, and I was telling you guys about Aaron Granello just a second ago. Not just to
workhorse.
Not just to blow his horn because he's a cool dude.
Workhorse.
And I'm also not going to stop describing myself as blowing Aaron's horn. But this was Seattle City Council had a public safety committee meeting, and Rob Saka, who I now understand speaks in sound bites that are great, he was calling on Mayor Wilson to turn on those cameras. And I will say, I pulled a clip here of him talking, saying the exact thing that I said maybe a month ago. So Washington has a bunch of laws about how these cameras this information cannot be turned over to the federal government, correct?
Well, yes, you're spot on correct. And this is from state law and from adopted city law about non-involvement, non-interagency cooperation with ICE.
So they made a big deal about this. And then at the same time, they said, and that's why we're not turning on cameras unless we have a credible threat that there's something actually wrong. And everybody kind of went, oh, okay, that makes sense. And I was asking, well, if there's no worry about the feds getting the information and you have the cameras in place, and we know how valuable cameras can be if something happens that you don't know about, i.e. Boston Marathon bombing, then why not have them on? Because you have assured us that they're not going to be used unlawfully for immigration purposes. That's what everybody said. And yet they're still not planning on having them on. So Rob Saka, who obviously wants to be the next mayor and sees a giant void opening up that he'll be able to step into.
It's like you can watch the Grand Canyon grow in real time.
You just watch it.
The void between what the city needs and what the city voted for.
He's clearly going to run for mayor.
Clearly.
Right? I mean, especially against
he
somebody
listens
like
to the
Katie
show.
Wilson.
He took your idea from last month.
Yep.
So he should run for mayor.
He should run for mayor.
Let's say it.
These are smart ideas. All right. So this is Rob Saka, Seattle City Council Public Safety Committee. This was just a few minutes ago. You're hearing it here first, unless you're watching it there, which I highly doubt because these are super boring. But here you go.
And I'm proud that we also baked in the best in the nation guardrails and robust privacy controls to prevent misuse and prevent data from falling into the hands of the federal government for immigration purposes. So today, I'm calling on Mayor Wilson to turn on the Soto cameras ahead of World Cup.
Okay, now, as a quick reminder, they have these cameras. I believe there's 66 of them or something like that.
Okay.
And the city has said we're not going to turn them on unless we are made aware of a credible threat, in which case we will then quickly turn them on to catch any credible threat that may happen. That to me sounds like a disaster, and you're asking for trouble. And I think that's a bad idea. If they have the cameras and they have all these protections built into place, then just use them. Otherwise, Katie Wilson's just playing politics if she keeps these things off.
You've heard the psychological studies that say even the presence of a camera, it changes people's behavior.
Yeah.
So I would broadcast. I'd hire a plane to fly around the city trailing a banner that says, you're being filmed.
That's a great idea.
Look up and smile.
Yeah. Put those little signs everywhere.
Put the signs
Smile,
everywhere.
you're on camera.
We're talking about other World Cup host cities. We did some quick research. I'm almost, I haven't looked at
LA?
LA, yes, going to use surveillance cameras. New York, yes, going to use surveillance cameras. Boston, of course. Miami, Houston, Atlanta, all using every bit of high-tech AI-assisted surveillance to guarantee a safe and enjoyable World Cup experience.
There you go. Listen to this. Speaking of Boston. Now, why is this so personal to Rob Saka? He'll tell you himself.
I want to explain why this issue is deeply personal to me. Yes, Chair, I'm a little sporty today. It's for good reason. Because 13 years ago, in 2013, me and my wife ran the Boston Marathon.
He's wearing his Boston Marathon shirt that he
finisher
got.
Shirt. Yeah.
We had just finished running the race. We had just run the world's greatest marathon, the mecca of marathons. And then the first of the bombs went off. And I'll never forget. And then another device exploded shortly thereafter.
He talks about, just to think about that for a second. You've just done this amazing thing. It's probably I've never run a marathon. It's a long way, 26.2 miles. No, thank you. You've walked one.
I've walked two.
You've walked two.
Two, yeah.
I imagine there is a surreal feeling when everything goes great and you finish a marathon. I imagine you're like, man, I just really accomplished something. So you're kind of just like soaking in the moment.
Euphoric.
You're very aware of things. Euphoria is a
yeah.
great example. And you're just sitting there, and then to hear a device go off, I don't know if you would know instantly what it is.
Exactly. I think today we would, because we're preconditioned to expect the worst from all the unknown things we come across these days.
Yeah.
But then there was almost
you kind of go, wait, what happened?
There was almost an innocence that we've lost since then.
Yeah, and that's always the way it works. Like, what was that? Like, it's just awful. And he talks about how he's so grateful for all the first responders which happens every time there's a disaster. Somebody always running in to the danger. And thank God for them. But also, there was cameras going, which was the most important part in catching the Tsarnaev brothers, that they even had footage. And remember back then, 13 years ago, these cameras were not great. And they still did a good job, enough of a good job to catch these guys. There's a great documentary on this. I can't remember the name of it, so I can't recommend the name specifically. I think it's on Netflix, but it's about, I think it's multiple episodes. It's about the whole process of catching the Tsarnaev brothers and how they went through and combed through the data. And you have it?
American Manhunt.
The
Boston Marathon bombing.
Is that Netflix? I think it is.
Yeah, it is Netflix.
It's
I watch it
phenomenal.
too. It's fantastic.
It's so great. And it's a really good insight into like how they use these specific systems that Seattle has to catch bad guys, and listen to him talking about it.
Scared to death, didn't know what to do. Didn't know how to protect my wife in that moment. We decided at that point just to stay put. And I'll also never forget in the chaos and the confusion and the terror that unfolded in those moments after those bombs went off. I'll never forget, and I'll be forever grateful by the over 100, potentially hundreds of first responders, firefighters, paramedics, and yes, police, putting their safety on the line, running towards the danger to help keep us safe. All the confusion, all the fear, all the chaos, and the realization that such a joyful global event could, unfortunately, become a mass casualty incident in an instant. And I'll also never forget how very critical security cameras, including CCTV, were in helping law enforcement quickly identify the perpetrators, quickly understand what happened, and help prevent further tragedies.
Seattle's asking people to come downtown and to watch the World Cup.
Excuse me, in record numbers.
In record numbers.
Yeah, they are.
We have fewer police right now, and I know this would be law enforcement from all around the region, but we have fewer police right now in Seattle than we've ever had. And they have the ability to make it safer, and if they choose not to, it's a purely political decision. And I agree that I think they should be turning the cameras on.
Common sense would tell you to make it as safe as possible if you want the best outcome possible.
Make it safe. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Great cuts from Rob Saka. We got more. We'll play some more of these in just a little bit, so stick around for that. And next, Spike will return.
A small town is losing a summer event that everyone looks forward to because it's supposed to be quiet now in McConnell. Quiet.
Would you describe this as a self-own?
Ooh. Yes.
Let's describe it to the audience when we come back.
Sure. Love to.
And how it can be fixed. We'll tell you about it. Stick around.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
When Dennis suggested retirement planning to his wife Linda, she had the same reaction lots of people do.
Do we really need it?
Then they attended a free seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich at LifePoint Law.
He asked me, what do you want? And he truly listened. And at the end of it, it was like, we need to do this.
There are many people on the radio that speak about many things. And when we got here and actually worked with the team that Rajiv has put together, it turns out that it is not just talk, it is action.
And in the worst case?
I said to him, if something happens to Dennis, what would I do exactly? And he said, you pick up the phone and you call Rajiv or you call me. And that right there was like peace of mind.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Tacoma on June 4th, Mukilteo June 6th, Lacey June 9th, or Bellevue June 13th, 6:30 p.m. Spaces limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief. The best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
So, what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. It is still a very active scene at a chemical explosion from this morning at a Longview paper mill. KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake is live on scene. And what have you learned since we spoke to you last, Corwin?
Well, what we've learned, Nate, is that this is indeed a tragedy with fatalities here at the scene. Although authorities are not saying exactly how many people have died, there are also multiple injuries from chemical burns. This after a tank ruptured here at the Nippon Dynaware facility on the Columbia River here in Longview. It happened about 7:15 this morning, and they've been working the scene intently ever since. We have learned that multiple casualties have been sent to multiple area hospitals. The headline here, though, is that we have deaths as well. And again, we don't know how many. It's still very much under investigation. There's a hazmat team at the site. For the public here in Cowlitz County, we're being told that there is no danger to the general public. But again, a multiple casualty event here in Longview. Reporting live, Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, Corwin. Journalists at 4 Washington newspapers are walking off the job today. The one-day strike started at 7 this morning. It involves union workers at the News Tribune, the Bellingham Herald, the Olympian, and the Tri-City Herald. It's a protest against what they claim are unfair labor practices by owner McClatchy Media. Workers are pushing for better pay and common sense rules around artificial intelligence. They've been in contract talks with the company for a year now. Los Angeles candidate for mayor Spencer Pratt says he has a plan to send the city's homeless to Seattle. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
The former reality TV star tells ABC7 most people living on LA's streets are battling addiction, not homelessness, and he wants to place 40,000 homeless in a large-scale treatment facility or ship them to the Pacific Northwest.
They're all going to Seattle, where the mayor will welcome them.
Seattle City Council recently passed measures to allow larger homeless shelters and tiny home villages. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Today marks day 2 of what's called the 100 Deadliest Days of Summer. It's when deadly car crashes spike for younger drivers. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha reports.
This year so far, there have been 167 deadly crashes and more than 700 possible serious injury. There were a total of 24,805 crashes so far. Now, experts blame this deadly period on a number of driving issues like distracted driving, as well as not using seat belts, as well as substance abuse issues and much more. They're urging all drivers to be careful when they're out on the road, especially for the next 3 months.
And on Wall Street, we're seeing mixed numbers this afternoon. The Dow down 190, S&P 500 up 38, and the NASDAQ up 265. Your KIRO News Radio traffic, North 5 in Seattle. We've got scattered backups approaching the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. Plan on 25 minutes to get through downtown. South 405, scattered backups between Factoria and Renton. And North 405, you're slow through the Renton S-curves. If you're planning a trip on Highway 2, it remains shut down in both directions about 4 miles west of Coles Corner due to an earlier collision. No detour and still no estimated time to reopen. The Clinton Ferry Terminal, we're seeing a little improvement. We're down to a 1 hour wait for drivers. And now your forecast, becoming partly sunny later this afternoon and a high near 63, cloudy and 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Before the break, we were talking about a small town. It's kind of a mystery. A small town who used to have a thriving music venue, business in the summertime, and now they don't because they passed a local ordinance that limited the decibel levels.
Yeah, they cited a state law and a local ordinance. And when we say music venue, we're talking about a concrete pad that's a foot taller than the rest of the concrete pad.
Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gilkey Square in downtown La Conner. Now, the only reason I know about La Conner is it's a beautiful little northwest town.
It's right on the water?
It's on the water. I think it's
there.
Swimmer's Channel. I think it's up there.
Yeah.
It's like it's on the way to Anacortes.
Mm-hmm.
I say that because Anacortes is the reason I am affected by it. I think this is a bad idea. Not that I don't love the residents of La Conner, but the Oyster Run is the largest motorcycle rally of the summer. It ends the summer riding season every late September. I think it's like the third or fourth Sunday in September.
Sure.
And we're talking like upwards of 20,000 bikers that roll up to Anacortes. Now, the reason La Conner comes into play because it's not an organized ride. It's everybody coming from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Every nice little road, beautiful little backcountry 2-lane is got bikers, and all those bikers need a place to stop and refresh themselves and have a bite and maybe have a bev. And La Conner is one of the choicest spots.
It's beautiful.
So every summer, bikers come through La Conner, not just the weekend of the Oyster Run, but every weekend in the summer.
Yeah, like if you're out there, just like catching the sights.
Right, you're putting along. You want to go stop for how about a burger and beer on the water? La Conner's where you want to go.
Yeah, it's great.
This new ordinance, it kills the summer music festival at I think it's Gilkey Square.
I don't know the name.
That's the little
Gilkey.
Yeah,
Gilkey sounds
It's
right.
a little plaza right on the water, and they have a little musical festival every summer.
Yeah.
Well, they've done it year in, year out, and there were some complaints last year from some condo owners. Now you understand, and they're applying an ordinance that was
house.
It's your retirement spot. You know, I could see some
retired
of the
people.
Kids move out. You know how I feel about old people.
I know.
They passed this ordinance a couple of years ago, I think maybe 3-4 years ago, to eliminate construction noise.
Why are the old people complaining about noise? They can't hear anything anyway. It's ridiculous.
Why are they the slowest ones on the road?
Why are they the slowest ones on the road?
You got the least amount of time left. I think hurry up, get where you're going.
Turn your turn signal off, old person. Jeez Louise. All right, what were you saying?
The noise ordinance was put in place to help reduce construction noise of these new condos, these new facilities, it's for residential areas.
Talk about the snake eating its tail.
Right? This area of downtown La Conner it's got a winery right there, a little wine tasting room. It's got a little brew pub. It's got a tavern. It's got an art gallery.
Have you been to that hotel? The main one I can't remember the name of it, but my wife and I stayed there one time.
In La Conner?
In La Conner, yeah. We had a little romantic getaway.
It's beautiful.
Left the kids with Grandma and Grandpa.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's so nice.
They had this summer music festival, and the average, we're not talking about, Metallica rolling into town for 3 sold-out nights in La Conner.
Yeah.
We're talking about, the kind of gigs, even much smaller than the kind of gigs my band plays.
Sure.
You're talking about a bunch of guys and ladies on stage, 2 or 3 amps, no big PA system.
Yeah.
110 decibels is about the average sound of those type events, right?
It's much more of a James Taylor vibe than a Metallica vibe.
It is. And we're talking about decibel levels. The new law in La Conner that was put in place for construction is being applied to this music fest, 55 decibels. Want to know how loud that is?
Yes.
We're using more than that right now.
Really?
Yes. A lawnmower.
Would they make us illegal in La Conner?
We couldn't do this live in La Conner.
Jeez,
if we put up 2 microphones and a little speaker, we couldn't do this.
Is this not America?
This is not well, no. The free...
La Conner, are you not in America? You got all those tulips, which I understand are Dutch or something. Maybe that's something in your water. You were asking about a lawnmower. Can I take a guess?
Yes.
Decibel level of a lawnmower.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it's higher than 55, because you wouldn't have brought it up otherwise. And I'm going to guess it's lower than Seahawks all-time decibel level of 126.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it's 71.
90.
90? You can't even mow your lawn in La Conner
right?
without breaking the noise ordinance?
Right? How about all those bikers come through all summer? They're going to have a problem?
The condo owners don't care about that because they don't have yards. They're imposing all these restrictions on everybody else.
Well, it's an ordinance designed to protect residential neighborhoods. This is downtown La Conner. I mean, this is waterfront, business-centric, downtown LaConner.
Yeah. What do they think? The problem is, like, it's so self-defeating. What do people come into a tiny little town like LaConner for? You've got your aunts and grandmas who go in there to see the tulips, and on their way back, they might catch a coffee somewhere, and they might see LaConner. That's nice, but it's not like a massive revenue source.
There's a little local art gallery there. There's a local Northwest Heritage, Skagit County Museum.
Okay, art's going to bring in another $300 a year. Then there's a winery, you can drink wine, but don't clink your glasses because that's going to go above 55 decibels. Is it really?
I bet
Probably.
I bet you would. A heavy rainstorm.
It's like a town full of Karens.
A heavy rainstorm. Heavy rainstorm would beat 55 decibels.
People like noise when it's a good noise.
Right?
We like noise when it's a fun band, when it's money coming in, when the sound of a cash register, cha-cha-ching, cha-ching.
I was trying to find some
financials.
Because I love when you crunch the numbers. I was trying to find some financials on what the summer season brings into LaConner business community.
Let's crunch those numbers.
I don't have them. I couldn't find any. They've squashed the numbers.
Let's crunch those numbers.
It was more. It was going to be more.
That's actually louder than they would allow in LaConner. $300 to $500, according to this Facebook post, on average, that somebody might come in. They said it's maybe not average. That seems high. $500.
If you're staying, you and your lovely bride had a little getaway.
That's true. Yeah,
right.
We spent $500. I guess when you
restaurant
factor
dining,
in
right? Maybe
food
some
and
drinks.
Dining.
You bet.
Yeah.
Breakfast the next morning before you leave town.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. All the quarters I pumped into the Zoltar machine. They have one of those.
That would be big.
They have one of those, yeah.
No.
Yes, they do. They have in one of the old shops, they have a Zoltar machine, and I actually took a video of it because my kids are obsessed with it.
That's awesome.
There's like a mystery. It's kind of like scary, and they love it.
It's great. Now, if I want to go see that, I'll have to take my bicycle because I can't drive my Harley into town anymore. I'm not welcome.
They hate you. They probably heard that you hate them because they're old.
Oh, I did start this, didn't I?
Yeah. Spike picked a fight. Well, but they're trying to fix it. So the council is trying to fix this.
Yeah.
They have said that their intention was not to kill the concert series. It was just to basically, quiet down the Karens.
LaConner Live, it's called. That's the Summer Music Festival.
Yeah, and they said now they're going to try to figure out if there's a way to,
Unplugged.
Ease up the restrictions.
All kazoo orchestras. That's what it's going to be, yeah. Keep it down there.
It's just going to be a joke I won't make. I'm check swinging on this joke, but I will leave you with this.
Will there be fireworks for the 4th of July in LaConner? Because boom, crash, bang.
Probably drones.
Ooh.
Maybe a drone show.
A drone
would
show.
be better for LaConner because they don't like noise.
First they'll say, shh.
Yeah.
In drone lights.
Just a big wagging finger.
And then the word boom.
Yeah.
Pow. Boom.
Fireworks. It would say, and then all the drones at the end would say, "We hate freedom."
Would you call them a gaggle of Karens? A town full of Karens?
Yeah, a town full of Karens. Just a flock of Karens. Just like all the birds. Have you seen all the birds they collect there?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're swans or geese. They're white. I don't know what they are.
Swans.
Unbelievable.
Gorgeous.
It's disgusting what they leave behind, but they're beautiful to see from a distance. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
How much would you pay speaking of dining out, how much would you pay to go out and eat dinner? Would you spend $55 for a pizza?
We'll tell you next.
A slice of pizza?
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Thanks. Is oil marked down?
Save up to $15 when you buy 5 quarts and a filter.
And fuel treatment?
2 for $9 on Lucas.
Brake pads?
Marked down to free.
Free?
Get free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 Duralast rotors.
That's several markdowns.
for many more miles.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth.
Having some certainty about your plan is definitely going to give you all the advantages.
Chris has the heart of an educator.
If you really want to do this correctly, then you get to enjoy every day of retirement like it's a Saturday. And if you don't, it's a Monday for the rest of your life.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth, Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Washington is helping men take control of their health with a free, comprehensive wellness panel. A $400 value included when starting treatment. Your panel checks key health markers, including testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidneys, liver, and thyroid, so you can finally understand what your body's been trying to tell you. Since 2011, over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Get answers, get a plan, and start feeling better. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free, comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
As a social influencer, my days can be busy. 4 a.m., I hit the gym. 4:32, protein smoothie. 5:08, save time and money bundling my home and auto insurance with Progressive. Wait, if I bundle and save time, what would I do then? Just sit here and reflect? Like, why am I qualified to influence anyone? And how those weights are hollow? And half of my followers are bots.
You could save time and money bundling your home and auto when you switch to Progressive. It's one less thing to worry about during your already busy day. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
This season, the Mariners are lighting up the sky with 8 fireworks nights thanks to T-Mobile. The fun kicks off with a 90s-themed show on Friday, May 29th against the D-backs. Get your tickets and check out the complete lineup at mariners.com/fireworks.
All right, welcome back to the show. Spike, do you often find yourself eating out pizza? Do you ever even make pizza at home?
I don't cook pizza at home.
Yeah.
I don't. We don't. If I had a pizza oven, I know so many folks who...
You strike me as somebody who could make a really mean pizza at home. Like if you had a pizza oven, I just assumed you would have one.
I used to have a stone to make pizzas at home, like a pizza stone.
Yeah.
But unless you've got a wood-fired pizza oven, and I know guys that have built their own. They're easy to make. I know half dozen people that have in their backyard.
I've thought about doing that. YouTube has a million things that you can build on YouTube and shows you every single thing. And pizza ovens is a very popular part of that programming. You can go and find a million different pizza ovens you can build. It looks easy.
My youngest used to take guitar lessons back when this was even pre-high school. And their guitar instructor, her husband, built his own pizza oven and made it a thing every Thursday. They were planning on me and Darby hanging for dinner.
Sweet.
Because Scott could make pizzas in that little pizza oven. But I like to. I got a couple good pizza places that I'd like to go to.
Sure.
Run of the mill. Nothing worse than bad pizza. There is nothing worse than bad pizza.
Yeah. Because it's tough to screw up. So when they do, it's like
you got to really try. You kind of got to try.
Yeah, it's usually ingredients. It's like they use very bad ingredients, or it's undercooked or overcooked or some variation.
I don't mind the taking it and make it at home.
Oh yeah,
not the frozen at the store.
No.
I don't want to plug them.
Yeah. We all know who you're talking about.
We know who I'm talking about.
Two words in the
Love at
title.
425 degrees might be the greatest, tagline of all time.
So simple. Yeah.
I don't mind that because I can control it. I even doctor them up at home.
Yeah.
I junk the ingredients up a little bit on top of the pie.
They're good. They're very good. Would you pay? The Seattle Times has a slice of pizza. Where's this for sale? Is this in New York?
No, it's Philadelphia. Excuse me, Philadelphia.
Did you see Philadelphia?
Yeah, old habits,
Is
hard
that
to
your
break.
East Coast coming out?
City of bodily harm, Philadelphia. Yeah, Baltimore and Philly got no love
Tell
lost.
us about this pizza. Would you ever be enticed to buy it?
I am not. I'm a simple man with simple tastes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a caviar on a slice of white cheese pizza. And don't get me wrong, I love a nice olive oil, white cheese, arugula,
Something light.
I like a nice designer pie. I can get in that. I've never been a caviar. What is the point? It feels like the fish threw up in my mouth.
Well, it came out the other end.
I'm right.
Yeah.
I cleaned that up. I couldn't spend $55.
It's $55.
That is such a pose.
That's a lot for. That's a lot for a pizza.
For slice. No, for slice.
That's for a slice.
For slice with a little jar of caviar on the side that you can adorn your slice with little piles of fish drops.
Can you imagine, honestly though, sitting down at a place and paying $50? The waiter comes over and says, "What'll it be?" And you say, "I'd like to try that $55 slice of pizza that I've been seeing advertised. It looks yummy." Who would ever do that? And why would you ever buy it for anything other than just to take a picture of it and tell people that you bought it?
It's posing.
100%.
It's completely posing.
It cannot be taste.
If you ever wanted to try, most of us haven't tried caviar.
Yeah.
I got a chance because we get to do some fun things, in this career.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant because of all your rich friends.
No, I don't. I got friends at that level. I got that level of friend.
I know you do.
But they don't invite me to their parties.
They don't invite you to
I know them, but I'm not.
They don't invite you to their caviar pizza parties?
No, they don't. But we went to an event one time through the NFL, of all places.
Yeah.
Went to a Pro Bowl game when it was still back in Honolulu. You want to talk about a spread? The NFL can throw a party.
Yeah.
The only time I ever tried caviar.
What did you like it? Did they give it to you with one of those little spoons made out of
spoon,
bone?
Yeah, little spoon thing.
It doesn't leave any taste or anything?
I mean, the bed of ice and the sculptures this thing was sitting on cost more than my car.
Beluga is the name I hear often when associated with
sturgeon.
caviar.
Beluga is the kind of. I'm not. I'm a simple man of simple taste.
I don't know. I mean,
I wanted to pull the tongue out of my mouth. It was so bad.
Really?
I wiped. When you wipe off your tongue to try to stop the taste.
You're like Tom Hanks in Big.
Yes. Yeah.
Ironically, because we just talked about that a second ago. Yeah.
That was.
He just kind of goes.
Yeah. Right. No, but you want to try to get that. And I started drinking anything.
What did it taste like? Fish?
Salt and vinegar. It was. I don't. I guess it was.
Some people. It's for some people.
Maybe I didn't prep my palate with the right. I don't know what.
I don't know a lot about high dining, but I think what you're supposed to do beforehand is you're supposed to take whatever napkin is nearby and then just vigorously wipe your tongue
to expose your taste buds. Okay.
So your taste buds are as clear and sensory free as possible.
Mine was just shellacked with Jello shots and big shrimp the size of my arm.
There you go.
Yeah. So maybe the caviar didn't have a fighting chance.
I don't actually think you're supposed to wipe it with a napkin. I think that's probably would be in poor taste, and it might out you as somebody who's not used to eating caviar. If you're sitting there wiping your tongue.
I'm prepping.
I'm ready for your fish guts now.
I think you're supposed to drink it, eat it with vodka, so maybe to kill the taste.
I mean, I like some traditions. I'm not against that.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to
never been for me.
They love that. The vodka or the it's fish eggs.
Caviar. It's fish eggs. Yeah.
Fish eggs.
Yeah.
Who thought of that? They said, "Why don't we take
people who are out of fish?"
Yeah,
yeah. That's how. The same guy who ate the eyeball. That wasn't the first part of the fish he ate. That was the last part of the fish he ate.
Have you ever had a fish eyeball?
No,
I haven't either. I've used them in fishing, ironically.
Yeah, sure,
but I've not actually eaten a fish eyeball. But I know it's a delicacy.
You ever eat one of those old duck eggs or whatever at a really good? a really good restaurant. I don't want to say. I want to say
at a really good
Asian, Chinese. Can I still say Chinese food? Right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be.
Describe it.
I don't know. Asian food. I don't know.
Well, that's a lot of variables.
Okay, Chinese food.
Chinese food. Yeah.
We went to a really high end place once, and they had this duck egg that was 50 years old or something.
Was it in a jar?
It was. I don't know. They served it. They served it in a cup of some kind. It was nasty.
It had to have been pickled.
It was nasty. I know it's all acquired taste and it's cultural.
Yeah.
And your palates are used to certain things.
That depends on where you grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never tried. No, to answer your question, I've never tried a pickled duck egg.
Ugh.
I love duck. I wouldn't eat.
I've had good duck.
Yeah.
I've had good duck at a good restaurant.
Yeah.
Although it's it's funny. The best food comes from the hole in the wall kind of places.
That is true as well.
You get into a nice neighborhood. Go down to the Chinatown, if I can, in New York City.
Why are you so cautious to say the name of places?
Because it's not
racist to refer to it as Chinatown.
It's an eggshell world. That's the international district now, right?
But that's not racist.
Okay.
To call it Chinese food. If I called it anything else, then it would be you couldn't you couldn't explain where it is.
My kid was living in New York City, and we went down to the southeast Chinatown of New York, of Manhattan.
Careful,
right? And this place, you walk past the place, you're like, ugh, but oh my God, the food.
It's good stuff.
Oh my God.
The best Italian food I ever had was in the back of a. Actually, that's not true. The best Italian food was in Italy. Second best Italian food I ever had was in the back of a the back of a gas station in Napa Valley.
Seriously?
And they made the world's best gnocchi. I don't know how they did it, but I found it online. My wife found it online, and we went in. We're like, "Do you have gnocchi here?" And they're like, "Come with us."
Yeah.
Sometimes there's just magical things.
There's a gas station on the eastern shore of Maryland that makes the best chicken.
All right, we'll be right back.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
Full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, "You're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps." Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Tacoma on June 4th, Mukilteo on June 6th, Lacey on June 9th, or Bellevue on June 13th. 6:30 p.m. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition too. It's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. The South Carolina State Senate today effectively killed a proposed congressional map that could have allowed Republicans to flip the seat held by Democratic Rep. Jim Clyburn, a major rebuff to an effort promoted by President Trump. The Republican-controlled state Senate voted to go home till after June primaries without action on the map. A chemical explosion at a pulp and paper mill in Longview, Washington, leaves over 10 people injured and more than one dead, say fire officials. Mike Gorsuch, Longview Fire Battalion Chief.
A major chemical explosion. There is no threat to the community. The threat's been neutralized.
Cooled down the damaged chemical tank and eliminated the chance of a major explosion, say fire officials in Orange County, California, at the military aircraft factory, but there's still a chance of a leak or smaller blast. Not all evacuation orders are lifted. Oil prices, U.S. and global standard Brent crude, are still over $90 a barrel. This is ABC News. The current Ebola outbreak in Central Africa could break records. ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton says there are many challenges.
You need the community to trust and to participate. You need people to say, I have symptoms. You need people to participate in testing, to tell you who they've been exposed to isolate if they're symptomatic, and to quarantine if they're exposed. All of those methods need to happen in order to stop this outbreak. And right now, the fear and the confusion and the gaps in surveillance and the gaps in healthcare access are leading the way in terms of why this outbreak is spreading at such a speed.
The Supreme Court today refused to intervene in a discrimination lawsuit led by former Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores, who's black, against the NFL. The case can go to trial. The NFL wanted the dispute handled in its arbitration process. The suit claims the league was rife with racism regarding its hiring practices when it comes to black coaches. Flores was later joined in the lawsuit by fellow black coaches Steve Wilkes and Ray Horton. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
A massive chemical tank explosion in Longview has turned deadly. Details straight ahead. First, your KIRO News Radio traffic. It's brought to you by your KIRO News Radio app. In Bellevue, we've got a new collision, North 405, just past the I-90 interchange. It's partially blocking the HOV lane, enough so the drivers are pulling out of that lane and trying to get into the mainline traffic. So we've got a pretty big backup right at the seam. And then just up the road at Southeast 8th, another collision on the left shoulder, but right next to that HOV lane, you're backed up heading into Factoria. South 405, pretty steady backup starting at I-90 down to North 30th and Renton. Bellevue to Renton, just under 20 minutes. Here in Seattle, North 5, we've got pretty thick backup from the West Seattle Bridge just past I-90. Another backup approaching the Ship Canal Bridge. 25 minutes to get through downtown. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. A still unknown number of people have died after a chemical tank ruptured at a Longview paper mill. KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake reports live from the scene.
Tragedy struck at 7:15 this morning at Nippon Dynawave Paper Factory along the Columbia River. A tank containing white liquor used in paper manufacturing ruptured explosively. Mike Gorsuch is Longview Fire Battalion Chief.
There were multiple critical injuries, and patients were transported to hospitals in Longview and throughout the Vancouver-Portland area. We can also confirm there were fatalities related to the incident.
Multiple victims suffered chemical burns and were transported to local hospital. A recovery operation is still underway. In Longview, Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
We have no word on what may have caused the rupture, and emergency responders decline to confirm the exact number of casualties. A Seattle council member is calling on the mayor to activate security cameras near stadiums before next month's World Cup events. Rob Saka, vice chair of the Public Safety Committee, says the city shouldn't wait for a credible threat before turning on cameras in the stadium district.
Waiting for a purported credible threat before activating those tools is far too reactive. For an event of this magnitude, We're failing to meet the moment.
The mayor has held off on activating the cameras pending a privacy review. Saka urges the technology could deter potential attacks as crowds grow. We've reached out to the mayor's office for comment. Seattle police have arrested the man wanted in a triple shooting outside a Capitol Hill nightclub. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports investigators' surveillance video appeared to show the suspect get into a fight, then pulled out a gun and started firing.
The 19-year-old from Tacoma has not been charged yet, but he's behind bars right now, held on $1.5 million bail. Last week, Seattle Police Detective Brian Pritchard told me surveillance video showed the suspect get into a fist fight with the victim.
As suspects were leaving, at least one of them fired shots back toward the club.
Police say they identified the suspect right away from nightclub surveillance video. They arrested him just 2 weeks ago for possession of a firearm, according to court documents. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Well, some good news on Washington roads. Traffic deaths dropped for the second year in a row in 2025. The Washington Traffic Safety Commission says 655 people died in crashes this year. According to the Washington State Standard, that's down from 737 last year and 809 back in 2023. It adds up to more than a 10% drop. Still, the numbers are higher than before the pandemic, when yearly deaths stayed in the 500s. And now your KIRO News Radio weather, 63 and partly sunny this afternoon, sunny and 73 Wednesday, 77 and sunny Thursday, and then back to rain and 61 on Friday. Cloudy and 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. Lots of stuff to get to. I want to play one more clip from Rob Saka. You just heard some of that from Nate in the top of the hour news break.
Great.
But I think this is a great question. It's critical. It should be asked right now. Why are they not turning these cameras on? We talked a little bit about this at the start of the show, but it bears repeating because we're now 3 weeks and counting or 3 weeks till. Does that work? 3 weeks and counting? 3 weeks until.
Yeah. 3 weeks and counting.
Because it wouldn't be.
Counting down. We're counting down.
Countdown.
Yeah.
3 weeks and counting down.
There you go.
Till the start of the World Cup. And they have these cameras. Everybody's understands that horrible things can happen. You don't want horrible things to happen, but just the idea the cameras are up there and not on when they could be used as deterrents. You said this earlier in the show, but just by virtue of the fact that they're there, and if bad people think that they're on and have a better chance of being caught, they're less likely to do bad things.
And take into account that every other World Cup city will be using every surveillance mechanism at their disposal to guarantee a safe environment.
Yes.
If you're planning on doing something nefarious at a World Cup event, and you've got Seattle as the only city not using surveillance cameras.
100%.
Come on, people.
I want to play this clip because it hits home emotionally, but also why it's a perfect example of when something horrible happens and the necessity for these cameras and how it can help catch the bad guys. Also stop them from doing future bad things. And this is the case in Boston Marathon bombing, where you have the Tsarnaev brothers who put down those two explosive devices.
Homemade explosive devices, yeah.
That is one of the saddest stories ever. I mean, those guys are horrible. The people who died as a result, just an awful story. Thankfully, they had cameras. And they had to do, they went, police in Boston, they made a movie out of it. I think the movie was called Boston's Patriot Day.
Yeah.
Is that with Wahlberg?
Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if you're going to make a movie in Boston,
come on.
you got to have Wahlberg in it.
Great movie.
Great movie. And then there's American Manhunt, which is the docuseries on Netflix about the search for the Tsarnaev brothers and how that happened. And Rob Saka ran in that marathon, and he talked about it, which is why he's so passionate about this. And listen to this.
I want to explain why this issue is deeply personal to me. Yes, Chair, I'm a little sporty today. It's for good reason. Because 13 years ago, in 2013, me and my wife ran the Boston Marathon. We had just finished running the race. We had just run the world's greatest marathon, the Mecca of marathons. And then the first of the bombs went off. And I'll never forget. And then another device exploded shortly thereafter. I want to explain why this scared to death, didn't know what to do. Didn't know how to protect my wife in that moment. We decided at that point just to stay put. And I'll also never forget in the chaos and the confusion and the terror that unfolded in those moments after those bombs went off. I'll never forget, and I'll be forever grateful by the over 100, potentially hundreds of first responders, firefighters, paramedics, and yes, police, putting their safety on the line, running towards the danger to help keep us safe. All the confusion, all the fear, all the chaos, and the realization that such a joyful global event could, unfortunately, become a mass casualty incident in an instant. And I'll also never forget how very critical security cameras, including CCTV, were in helping law enforcement quickly identify the perpetrators, quickly understand what happened, and help prevent further tragedies.
You know, that was looking back on that was a really crazy, because I remember, you know, keenly aware of what was happening, because there was all these updates, there was these news updates as they were trying to identify. And you remember they locked down, they locked that city down.
They went door to door.
They went door to door, and they had to know who they were looking for. So they had these kind of grainy, and then they eventually cleaned them up, and they were able to get kind of good side profile shots of these two individuals who were suspicious.
And then those images informed the population that called in tips.
Yep.
So they knew exactly who they were looking for.
Yes. And then that, in turn, allowed the individuals, in this case the Tsarnaev brothers, to feel the squeeze of law enforcement tightening around them. And then they acted erratically, and they did some crazy stuff. Remember the guy they hijacked at the local gas station?
Yep.
They stole his car. He was then able to get out and call the cops. Then one of them ends up in the backyard. And
a boat. Hiding in a boat under a tarp.
Under a tarp.
Yeah.
In like the central area where they're going door to door, and then somebody goes, I think there might be somebody in my boat. Remember how crazy that whole thing was?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then there's a shootout that happens, and they end up getting one of them.
And without the resources of surveillance, we don't know how that story ends ever. If we ever know who's where.
Imagine that. Imagine that they didn't have any cameras going because the city in Boston followed the same policy. They didn't, thank God. But imagine they had been following the same policy that Katie Wilson in Seattle are doing right now, which is until they have a credible threat, they're not going to turn them on. And Boston, if they were doing that, they would not have been on.
Yeah.
That just happened. So you don't always know when the credible threat's coming. I mean, people doing bad things tend to want to keep that a secret. They're not advertising.
Yeah, don't wait till it's too late.
Don't wait till it's too late.
Come on, Your Honor.
And you have an opportunity. You're 3 weeks out, and you can, you've sold it to the public, and you've told everybody that they're not having to worry about information shared with the federal government regarding immigration policy. Then you don't have any problems. Turn the cameras on. And if they're not doing it, we have further questions as to why they're not turning them on, if they still refuse to turn them on. So this would be a good moment for Katie Wilson to answer that call, for sure. All right, can we talk about this other story? This was at the end of last week. We have a new update on this. That's why we're talking about it today. We didn't really have a chance to get into this, though, but that Longview superintendent who was arrested in an obstruction case with local police, and there was allegations and an investigation. There was an arrest made of 2 high school students on rape charges. The whole thing is just an awful story. And Longview School District Superintendent, what's Karen's name? Karen Cloninger. Cloninger. She was in the courtroom. I believe this was this just
Friday
on Friday?
afternoon? Friday afternoon, yeah.
Friday?
An arrest was made on Thursday. She was first appearance in court on Friday afternoon.
$5,000 bail is what it was set at. And her attorney is asking for, I believe is this her attorney? Is it McMullen?
Yeah.
Asked that she be allowed to work at her office during this time, as her next court date is scheduled for June 10th. Do you think she should be allowed to work at her office?
Given her, so from background on this story, she was arrested for obstruction because the school district has a must report policy.
Mandatory reporting.
Mandatory reporting with regard to allegations of abuse or assault.
Yeah.
There was a story of 2 students who grabbed a third student and dragged them into a varsity locker room.
Horrible.
Sexual assault allegations. The school tried to, the superintendent. Allegedly. Well, no, there's pretty clearly that there's documentation from others involved. There's maybe 3 other people charged in the case. They wanted to handle this internally. They wanted to
that's true. Yes.
They wanted
Yeah.
to let the school's principal and vice principal do the investigation.
Yeah.
They wanted to, and I understand the presumption of innocence for those accused, the boys, because you don't know what you don't know. But there's a mandatory reporting policy in the district. And that judgment to say, let's not put this on social media. Let's not talk about this. There's enough rumors flying around.
No,
was her defense.
I understand from a school's perspective why they wouldn't want this information to get out there to the larger public, because it reflects very poorly on the school and their ability to keep their students safe. However, that's the job.
That's the job.
And if something horrible happens, if a rape happens, you need to be reporting these things, because that's an arrest that should happen. That's not a suspension.
Well, even reporting is let the police do the investigating, not the principal and vice principal.
Why are they trying to turn themselves into law enforcement? They're not law
exactly.
enforcement.
And I understand that you want to keep the image of the school intact, but what image does the school have now? We have a superintendent who's not keeping the student body safe.
Yeah, she's literally in her prison clothes.
Let's not put any of this in writing. It was one of her statements that was brought up in the court.
So Seattle Times did this good breakdown of this. I'm going to read to you a little bit about the police report. So police allege, this is from Seattle Times, good breakdown, and then I want to get into this bizarre phone call that happened. Police allege Mark Morris High School staff and district officials were made aware of a possible sexual misconduct involving students in early January, involving students as early as January 29th. The superintendent, Cloninger, specifically was made aware of the details involving the two students the following day. According to these arrest documents, the school employees are mandatory reporters, so they have to report these suspicions. The probable cause statement says that employees raised concerns about the district's responsibility to report allegations, but Cloninger directed them to handle the matter internally and discourage discussion. And I want to detail this phone call that Seattle Times highlights here. I'm just going to read you this 3 or 4 sentences here, and just as we hear this, think about this question that we were just talking about earlier. Should she be allowed back into her office during all of this? All right, so here's this bizarre phone call. During a meeting, after district spokesperson Rick Parrish opined that they should contact the school's district attorney. Are we deciding it's Cloninger or Cloninger? I'm sorry, I got to get past this name.
Cloninger.
Cloninger, okay. Cloninger reportedly told him to stand down and then called him back, asking that the call be placed on speaker. So clearly she wanted other people to hear this. So that the other people in the room, including Beckel and Whitwright, could hear her say, quote, "We're not calling any attorney because I'm not going to be told to do something I don't want to do. Look, guys, at this point, social media has already got rumors going. Tell the kids on the team we don't want any more rumors. Don't talk about this." During the call, put on speaker, Cloninger admonished staff to not put anything in writing on this, and then directed Beckel and Whitwright to tell the parents involved that they had investigated the matter and had taken appropriate disciplinary steps.
And,
now,
and Beckel and Whitwright are the principal, vice principal.
Yes.
At Morris.
Yeah.
Fort Morris.
Who are saying, guys, this is a mandatory situation.
Yes,
we should be reporting this.
Yes.
Now, here's my question to you. Can you even ever imagine a situation where there's allegations of a rape happening, where that's your response? Where you say to them, hey, you know what? Don't put anything in writing and don't call the attorney. Don't talk about this.
I can't fathom that. Your number one priority here isn't student safety, it's the reputation of your school. Or, you want to squash any rumors.
Yeah.
If you're in the back of your mind saying, innocent until proven guilty, I can respect that point of view. But at some point, following the district's rules of mandatory reporting and putting the potential victim in the place of most concern.
Yeah.
By making sure that the proper authorities are doing the investigating.
Yeah, the innocent until proven guilty only works if you go through the system.
If you go through the system, you can't
just say, hey, you know what? We're going to call this a suspension. Tell any parents who's worried about a rape happening that just look, don't worry about it. We're going to investigate and suspend.
And if nothing else, at that point, you got, policy is that we report.
Yes,
it's
that's
mandatory.
why they have the policy. So it takes the onus off of the administrative staff
that the
to have to be judge and jury.
I'm amazed the superintendent required that it be put on speaker. That part. Okay, so you really thought this.
Well, she didn't want it in writing.
Oh, is it? Oh,
she says we don't want anything put in writing.
Oh,
that's what the Seattle Times says. Not to quote put anything in writing on this. If you ever find yourself saying don't put anything in writing, you probably shouldn't be saying that thing.
Yeah, there's your sign.
Yeah.
As the Comedy Tour says.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's your question, should she be back in office to do her work pending this disciplinary referral or removal that she's been placed
pending
on?
this trial that she's on now. Yeah.
No.
Here's another question for you, because this is the part that gets even crazier. I'm going to read to you a little bit. This is from K2, who was reporting down there in Longview. As Longview Police, this is from a couple months back, as Longview Police continue investigating potential violations of Washington State's mandatory reporter law, the Longview School Board has voted unanimously to renew the contract for Superintendent Karen Cloninger. So they know this thing is happening. It's been referred to police. They know that there's dangers, and they know that there might be some misconduct from those in power.
Okay.
And they decide unanimously in this moment to say, hey, you know what? Let's renew that contract. Let's lock her down. Does that make any sense to you?
There's got to be
wasn't one person?
No, it was unanimous.
Who raised a hand?
Yeah. That tells me if they vote to not renew this person's contract with pending litigation, pending charges,
yeah,
and that person is then found to be not guilty, if somehow through the court proceedings this person is deemed to nothing to see here, then I think the school district puts themselves in a position for legal action.
Here's where you mean she could sue them?
She could sue them.
Okay, but here's where they had a workaround, and they chose not to take it. Listen to this. This is also from K2. The board approved the contract through a unanimous consent agenda at the April 13th meeting. Consent agendas are generally, this is from K2, are generally reserved for routine items. Items of the consent agenda cannot be debated or discussed, though any board member can request that an item be removed and placed on the regular agenda. While contract renewals often fall under consent agendas, public meeting laws require that consent agendas exclude items that are controversial in nature, which may include contract renewals. So they could have had a public meeting on this and said, hey, you know what? Normally we just give her the contract, but because there is an investigation going on about whether or not she withheld information from the cops, why don't we put this to the public so that they can have a say in this as well? But they didn't do that.
They didn't do that.
They unanimously did a consent agenda, which means they didn't want the public's input on this.
Right.
Because rumors were swirling, yada, yada. It's certainly looking like there's fire to the smoke.
Is there by the way, if you're found guilty, you're fired clause? I mean,
I don't know. I would assume.
I imagine any contract has, if you've got some outs.
Do you know what her pay is per year?
At the Longview Superintendent?
Longview Superintendent?
It's a smaller district, less schools, less students. I'm going to guess
220.
220, okay.
221. It was actually less than I thought.
Okay.
Superintendents are pretty high.
Longview's down there. That's it's a little corner of the state.
221. I would have waited on that if I was a school board. I would have said, hey, you know what? Because we have these allegations that a rape happened, and then we also have whether or not somebody mandatory reported, maybe even tried to obstruct the police from getting information on this, maybe we table this for a minute before we give her automatic renewal of her contract.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done. This is all just Jake speculation. I don't know how these people are thinking, but I would have put a pin in that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they renew the contract, clearly, if this determines that she's found guilty of these charges, that contract is null and void.
I would assume null and void.
There's a
there must be a
clause.
Yeah, there must be
in that contract that gets them out. So they kind of covered their backsides. If she's found guilty, she's done. If she's found not guilty and they had renewed her contract, she may have legal action against them.
Yeah, but what if she's?
I mean, I can't see no other common sense reason to just consensually.
Just by virtue of the fact that she put on a phone call on speaker and said, "Don't put anything in writing on this." That to me would draw.
Don't call the attorney.
That to me would call into question her ability to lead a school district. And I would say to them, like, hey, if you have an out because her contract's done, you don't have to renew that contract. That's not, she legally does not, she's not entitled to keep that job forever.
Yeah.
You could just not renew the contract. That's fine too. Yeah. And this to me would certainly rise to that level where I'd say, hey, you know what? Like you said, let's put a pin in this. Let's just for a second.
Kick this can down the river.
Let's see how this goes. Let's debate this for a month. Let's wait until the police investigation finishes. Let's wait until she's gotten her, she's gotten fitted for her jumpsuit.
See how she looks in orange.
Well, in this case, it's green.
Oh, she was in court in green. Yeah, in a
green. Oh. I know. Yeah, oranges, they don't do that anymore. That's TV. Okay. All right, we got a lot more coming up. What do we got next, Spike? We got a lot of stuff here. Are we going to do that? Are we going to do those barricades?
Yes.
Do the barricades?
Oh, my gosh. The neighborhood has taken their own safety into their own hands out of frustration with the city.
It's like Escape from L.A.
It really, yes.
It's what's happening. It's Escape from Seattle. Protect yourself from Seattle. That's what it is now.
Can't afford to live in a gated community? How about making your own?
Yeah, DIY gated community. It's perfect. All right, we got that. So much more. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
When Dennis suggested retirement planning to his wife, Linda, she had the same reaction lots of people do.
Do we really need it?
Then they attended a free seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich at Life Point Law.
He asked me, what do you want? And he truly listened. And at the end of it, it was like, we need to do this.
There are many people on the radio that speak about many things. And when we got here and actually worked with the team that Rajiv has put together, it turns out that it is not just talk, it is action.
And in the worst case?
I said to him, if something happens to Dennis, what would I do exactly? And he said, you pick up the phone and you call Rajiv or you call me. And that right there was like peace of mind.
Register for a free Life Point Law retirement planning seminar in Tacoma on June 4th, Mukilteo June 6th, Lacey June 9th, or Bellevue June 13th, 6:30 p.m. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Yeah, hi. I need an AC tune-up, and one room isn't comfortable.
We could do both. We'll get your system running right and take a look at the room. Ductless could be a great solution.
Perfect.
Yeah, and if your system's older, right now when you install a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system, the furnace is free.
Wow.
So you get a complete heating and cooling system for the price of one, and we help maximize rebates to save you the most.
Visit cmheating.com today for your tune-up or free estimate.
There's no beating CM Heating.
CMHEA HL751LW.
Drivers who switch to Progressive could save hundreds just by bundling home and auto insurance, because you can't go wrong saving money. Unless you spend it on a guitar and never learn to play it but lie and say that you did. Then someone hands you a guitar at a party and asks you to play, so you decide to improvise this.
Well, don't you know that dream... Sorry, no. Dream... But that's not it. Dreams are fun and also good.
Yep, you can't go wrong bundling and saving money with Progressive. Well, depends on how you spend it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now it's the final days of our Everything's on Sale event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses. Our Memorial Day event ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. This June, for Men's Health Month, start treatment at Revive Washington and get a free comprehensive wellness panel. A $400 value, including testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, and more. Take control of your health today. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. We continue to follow that deadly chemical explosion that rocked a paper mill in Longview this morning. Fire officials say a chemical treatment tank imploded at that packaging plant at around 7:30 this morning. Cowlitz Fire and Rescue Chief Scott Goldstein says the scene is stable.
Crews from our agencies have looked at the hazardous materials component as well as the structural concerns. That is why we are saying the incident is now stable.
Death toll is not known at this hour, but officials say multiple people were killed while others suffered chemical burns. If you live in certain parts of Snohomish County, your car tabs may soon get more expensive. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin reports the county is dealing with a $30 million budget gap.
To fix that, County Public Works is cutting operating costs as much as possible.
We've really run out of things to be able to reduce our expenditure and still deliver safe roads within our community.
Now she says they're considering a new $20 fee on new or renewed car tabs in unincorporated Snohomish County.
It raises about $6 million a year. It's about $500,000 a month.
That is Snohomish County Public Works Director Kelly Snyder. She says no decision has been made as of yet. Now to the closing bell report. Meta is laying off nearly 1,400 workers here in Washington. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun.
The company listed the locations of the office buildings where layoffs will happen. There are more than 250 employees in Seattle being laid off. About 700 are being let go from the Bellevue office, plus more than 200 laid off in Redmond, and more than 230 remote workers are also laid off across Washington state. The last day for all these employees will be July 22nd.
Tennessee taxpayers are cutting Starbucks a $30 million check. The state's funding board approved that grant to support Starbucks' expansion into Nashville. That's where the company plans to open a new corporate operations office. The project expected to bring up to 2,000 jobs over the next 5 years. On Wall Street today, mixed results. The Dow retreated and lost 118 points. NASDAQ and S&P, though, they closed at record highs. The NASDAQ gained 312, S&P up 45 points. Now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Let's start you down in Renton, where we have a new collision. It's northbound 167, just past the 405 interchange. It's blocking the right lane, partially blocking the on-ramp to southbound 405. This is actually on Rainier Avenue South. North 405, we're crowded from South Center through the Renton S-curves. South 405, crowded from I-90 all the way to the Renton Landing now. It's close to freeway speeds through most of this, so it's only 15 minutes from Bellevue to Renton. Westbound 90 at 150th out in Eastgate, we've got a crash partially blocking that on-ramp. Here in Seattle, it's a 25-minute trip through downtown on North 5. Scattered backups on the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. And South 5 continues to look good. No significant backups in your way. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Staying cloudy to at least partly cloudy for the rest of this afternoon. Tomorrow looks mostly sunny with highs back into the 70s. Right now, though, 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. We'll keep you up to date in the news breaks, top of the hour news stuff on that Longview explosion, the paper plant there. Is that what it is?
It's paper plant, paper processing plant.
That is wild. multiple people, they say, we don't know the number yet, but multiple deaths they're reporting, and at least 10 people injured. We were out at my in-laws this weekend, and my mother-in-law, there's a chemical plant. She lives by Port Townsend, and there's a pulp mill.
But yeah.
I mean,
I know exactly where it is. Yeah.
The entire town smells like the pulp mill.
That was the industry in its day. That was the town industry.
Yeah,
same thing in Longview. That's right on the river.
Same deal. Yeah. Looks a lot like it, and oh man, that's really tough. I hope they're okay, and to the people who have already passed away, their families. I praying for those families, and hopefully nobody else dies as a result of this. That's a crazy story. We'll keep you up to date, though, on the bottom and top of the hour news breaks as we know more information. All right. Man, Longview, unfortunately, has been in the news a little bit. We just talking about the superintendent.
Yeah, school superintendent, yeah.
You do not want to be in the news. You just don't want to be in the news for stuff like that. That's tough. All right, Spike.
Or this next story.
Yeah. Let's move on to this other story. This is in Seattle. What did you make of this? Seattle residents, basically, they're frustrated. Charlie Harger's done a great job covering these stories. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of bullets flying in a certain area of Seattle.
Yeah.
And they know why, and yet the problem doesn't seem to be resolved. So what are the residents doing about it?
Residents took matters in their own hands. We're talking about North Seattle, Aurora Avenue, North Seattle, right up to the city line. It's funny. It's mentioned in Charlie wrote a piece. I live up in that area, and I drive Aurora on a daily basis, and you can really tell the city line of Seattle is at 145th.
And you can tell?
You can tell because when you leave North Seattle, get past Green Lake, and start moving into the more industrial section of Aurora Avenue, strip malls, subsidized housing, businesses, the world's oldest profession. There's prostitution on Aurora Avenue, and Charles reported far too many stories he's had to write on this. There's a war going on between pimps.
Between pimps.
And the number of shootings.
These are not prostitutes a lot of these prostitutes are not just like self-employed.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the intricacies.
They're working with a pimp.
A lot of them are victims of human trafficking. Those stories have been far too prevalent as well. So the reports of shootings in this area have just been getting worse and worse and worse over the last few years. City changed ordinance I think 2020, 2022 maybe, that the solicitation loitering ordinances were dropped. They used to have those, your tag is being recorded. Mm-hmm. It was the John alerts.
Yep.
They were sending notices home to motorists who had repeated sightings of their tags frequenting these sex workers on Aurora Avenue. They took those signs down. The gangs moved in. This neighborhood has been riddled with gunfire. Far too many instances to report. The city the neighbors of this North Seattle community asked the city for help. They said that we will put out some of those barricades to block off the streets adjacent to Aurora Avenue because, kids were getting near misses with gunfire. The homes were being riddled with bullets.
Yeah.
Riddled. Far too many instances, and the city did nothing. They were promised a year ago. The directive never came from the mayor's office, so the neighbors went out and got themselves some of those big metal planters.
Just like you see, you can get them at like Tractor Supply, you can get them at Home Depot.
Yeah. And they blocked off the street, filled them with heavy weights so the cars couldn't go through them, and they did themselves what the city promised to do and never delivered.
I have a couple thoughts on this. I want to hear some audio. We have some stuff from King 5, also Como, talked to some of the neighbors who obviously are in support of the barricades. Let's play a little bit of this, and then I want to chat about it because what do you do if the city's failing to take action and their response is to basically do nothing? Their promise is like, well, maybe we'll shut your street down, but presently we're just going to do nothing. You got to take it into your own hands. King 5 talked a little bit about that. Listen to this.
We just saw a Honda Element drive around here, so we got to put a stump over there, I think.
You can't just illegally block the road.
It's either this or bullets in my neighbors' houses.
Our neighbors put these up in self-defense.
The risk of emergency services not being able to get through here is greater than the good that they think that they're doing from putting up this.
Makeshift barricades now block 3 streets off Aurora Avenue, and they're building frustration.
And I just don't think that this is the right fix.
It comes after residents like Kate and Peter say they've documented at least 8 shootings in about the past month, within roughly 10 blocks of their homes.
We celebrate when there's not a shooting.
Until that evil is taken care of, we got to deal with this.
I'm gonna read to you a little bit from Charlie's article here talking about this. In a single 60-day stretch in the summer of 24, there were, and that's 2 years ago, obviously, but the problem has persisted and gotten worse. In a single 60-day stretch in the summer of 24, there were 31 shooting incidents in the area, stray bullets in a child's bedroom wall, car windows shot out, houses peppered, and it's gotten worse since. They even detail how a bullet struck and embedded right near a bassinet where a baby was sleeping, like a 6-month-old.
Yeah.
If you're living in these areas and you're calling the city constantly, city council members, all these different places, and you're saying, hey, we got pimps outside firing bullets at each other, and people are going to die as a result, not just the pimps, but people who are trying to live and work here who are not prostitutes, why isn't the city taking action? It reminds me of that Spencer Pratt idea that he has about like the accountability chain, where if somebody sends in a request and it doesn't get addressed. It goes
right to the desk of everybody that's supposed to be addressing these problems.
It shows the public exactly who was made aware of this and their inaction on it.
Yeah.
And then it's going to shame them until they're voted out of office, which is a phenomenal idea. Because you just have, that's the problem with government, is it's not accountable for anything.
Right.
And a city like Seattle just kind of goes, well, we'll get to it eventually, but pimps, they do what they do. That's ridiculous.
Well, they do what they do because you did what you did.
Yes.
You stopped prioritizing sex trades on Aurora Avenue, and you brought in an element that's willing to resort to violence to have their business territories
protect their territory.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen?
Well, this is exactly what's going to happen. What worried me about the tape that we played about and I understand the neighbors' concerns about what about emergency vehicles?
Yeah.
You can't just block off the streets. If the city had agreed to blocking off these streets, the city had already factored into those elements of our emergency services going to be
yeah.
I mean, because the city, there's a whole bunch of places where the city has blocked off car traffic for bicycles and for pedestrians and for kids, and you just slow down zones up in that same section of town, not quite as close to Aurora.
They want to keep the streets safe for streetwalkers.
But for kids.
I'm just kidding.
Get them young. Sorry, that was a horrible joke.
No, it was a horrible joke.
So, but those are available to deliveries and to emergency vehicles, those roads that are blocked off for kids
some extent,
and bikes. Yeah. I mean, like I said, this neighbor saw a Honda Element, which is one of the kind of the little SUV-type vehicle, go around the barricades that the neighbors put up and drive over the sidewalk, essentially.
Yeah.
We got to put a stump out here.
Let me play this cut. This is from a local who supports the barricades.
I mean, we live right in the smack of everything, so we've had our house hit with bullets, and the neighbor behind us went through their window, actually.
Her name's Chelsea, and she was asked about those emergency vehicles. Is she worried about that?
You could turn down different street, take another 2 minutes, and, verse our safety.
The thing here, my overall take on it.
A guy's a heart attack, 2 minutes can be a real deal breaker.
That's true. No, that's true. That's true.
And a house fire, too. I've had twice. It can be a real deal breaker.
Here's where I'm at on this whole thing. Shutting down a street, I look at as the same as shutting down a park. It's a stopgap. The city's not doing their job. If you're closing parks early because you're worried about gang problems, so people can't enjoy parks that we're paying tax dollars for, it's the same thing as shutting down a city street. It means you're not getting to the root of the problem. Instead, you're just kind of creating more areas for these pimps to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Get the people doing the problem, arrest those people. If the city has a problem arresting prostitutes, is it illegal or is it not? If it's not illegal, then we shouldn't have a problem. And if it's illegal, then make the arrests and arrest the people who are putting them out there.
Amen.
And if they're not willing to do that, then we need to unelect these people and elect somebody else into the office because they're not doing their jobs. They're not doing their job good. It's so ridiculous. And these poor people who are stuck there having to put up their self-made barricades. And I would question, who are those people voting for office? That's another question I would have. The people who are living there, statistically, who are they voting for to put in office?
Well, it seems to me that's kind of the root issue of every problem we talk about on the station today.
Who are you voting for?
Right?
Unfortunately.
Is this what you voted for?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or is this just we didn't think this far ahead side effects?
Now that they know this is happening, does their voting change next time? That's the question. Because now we're talking about bullets flying. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Spike, what do we got next? Do we know? Yes, we do.
I do. These days, parents are helping kids buy homes, and that's nothing new.
Yeah, that's happened.
Parents have always helped.
You have a great story about this.
It's affected our lives, but nowadays parents are putting restrictions and requirements on lending their kids money.
Fantastic.
For a house.
All right, we'll talk about it next. Stick around.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Oh, the rainy season is behind us? We never know around here. Integrity Roofing and Construction is your trusted local roofing team. They, of course, offer free estimates so they can tell you how safe your home is from from northwest weather. It seems like it's always winter weather around here, well, at least till 3 weeks of the summer. Visit integrityrc.com to schedule a free roof assessment or video inspection today. They've got years of experience in roofing and restoration, a full design team, and thousands of great reviews at their website, integrityrc.com, or call them up, 206-202-ROOF.
Memorial Day weekend is a time to honor and remember those who serve for the United States Armed Forces. The holiday weekend is also the unofficial start to summer and brings people outside for boating, barbecues, and get-togethers. My friend Jonathan from DUI Heroes says DUI arrests increase around holiday weekends. If you or someone you know is pulled over for DUI, contact DUI Heroes immediately. Your DUI defense specialist, 1-800-DUI-HERO. That number is answered 24/7, DUIHeroes.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-881-8686. That's 800-881-8686. 800-881-8686.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
Carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, including mine, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. And we've interviewed over 100 of Dr. Wagner's patients, and we hear the same things. It changed my life. I'm back to doing the activities I love without pain. It really works. It's remarkable.
We love helping people get back to living life to the fullest and doing the things they enjoy most.
They also must really enjoy not having the pain and recovery time with surgery.
Stem cell therapy is a 60-minute, non-surgical, minimally invasive procedure to eliminate pain, regenerate cartilage, treat tendon and ligament tears, osteoarthritis, and chronic tendinitis.
And you only use the patient's own stem cells.
That's right, their body's own stem cells.
So, whether it's a hip like me, an elbow, shoulder, or knee...
Don't forget ankles, wrists, and thumbs.
Yep, those patients too. Before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD first. Learn more at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Amazon Business. Discover smart business buying, where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Why pay retail? Save big with the largest carpet and hardwood flooring selection at Carpet Liquidators. 7 locations. We've got you covered at Carpet Liquidators.
Why pay retail? Carpet Liquidator.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. This is a really interesting topic. I have seen this in many different forms and versions, most recently highlighted in this Wall Street Journal piece, talking about a young woman who really wanted a house. And as we all know, the housing market is insane. Houses are expensive. Saving up for a down payment of a house is crazy. How do you do that when rent is already sky high? And so this woman, whose name is Jennifer, who I think she's in her early 30s. She really was struggling with the cost to rent and put money aside to save up for a down payment for a house. And so her dad said, hey, I'll make you a deal. Now this is a great deal. I don't think most parents can afford to do this. But he said, I'll make you a deal. If you are willing to let me help you, and if you will stay within, I think was it 2 miles? Because he lives in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I think it's within 2 miles. So that was the stipulation. If you'll stay within 2 miles, I'll buy you a house. And so he buys her. Now, again, this is in Phoenix, so it's different.
Yeah.
Did you see the house that they described in this piece?
Yeah.
Did you see what she got in Phoenix?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the cost?
Yeah.
I think was it 690? Something like that?
I think so, yeah.
Somewhere along 600 something thousand.
Yeah, well, that's because it's a nice neighborhood in Phoenix.
But she got...
If he'd have cut his radius or expanded his radius to 20 miles,
sure,
he could have got her a house for half that, and his grandkids would have been over 20 minutes later.
That's true.
It's
but 2 minutes. But she's got like an in-ground swimming pool.
It's nice.
All these things. But nice. The thing is, and he did this for her older sister too, according to the story. But he said, hey, I've got all this. I mean, it's a common problem now. You have, not a problem, but you have older generations who are pretty wealthy in house liquidation costs. Mm-hmm. They got a lot of money in equity.
They had some
houses.
equity. Yeah.
You could apply that and get a house for your kids who maybe that's not an option because rates are what, 6-7% right now?
Yeah, it's not an option for most kids of this house buying generation. I've got a couple at home.
Unless you seek
not at home.
Well, but of the age where they'd want to buy, unless you are forced to look out of state.
And that we've talked about this before. That's my greatest fear. Melissa and I's greatest fear.
You've built this great life, and now you want to enjoy it with your kids as they're now building their families too, and you want to be nearby. So you guys had an interesting situation pop up.
We talked about this in the past. My kids are looking at, can we afford to ever buy a home?
Locally,
because you
can move to Iowa if you wanted to.
Right, far away, Iowa. For Iowa, that's pretty good. That's
not a great Iowa spot.
Yeah. So Well, we offered when my kid was getting married, we said, well, look, we can help you with the wedding, or we can give you a little nest egg for maybe buying that first home.
A little down payment
stuff. Down payment money for the home. And not like we didn't have 20% on the cost of a home in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'd have to be living under garage. I live in their garage.
These are $1 million houses in Seattle. Yeah.
But the kid picked the wedding as opposed to a nest egg. And I can't judge. I can't judge.
No.
And they feel confident at some point they're going to make their own way and make their own hay.
Sure.
And be able to afford to buy a home. I just don't want it to be.
You just don't want it to be when
Idaho,
when they have to
Oregon.
move to, Like I saw this stat recently about how Washington they ranked each state where people are going and in like population growth.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget what the exact metrics were, but they were somewhere along the lines of like Idaho was plus 63, Nevada was plus. It was a plus number, but all the coastal states were minuses.
Yeah.
Because it's just gotten so expensive.
Cost of living, you bet.
To live there that people are having to explore other options. And then when you're in a situation like you are with your kids, the worst thing in the world is to think about you arriving at this point in life where you finally are pretty comfortable because of a lifelong career working hard. And now your kids, who you cherish more than anything in the world, have to leave.
Have to go to more affordable pastures
to find what you have found.
Yeah, and to take the idea of grandkids, a multi-generational love and living, an airplane ride away, or at the least.
Yeah.
Couple visits a year as opposed to daily, weekly.
Best case scenario, maybe they find something in the eastern part of the state, and then it's only a 2-hour drive versus
an air travel situation.
It's crazy out there.
I just never heard a parent put caveats on lending you money. That was the part of the story that freaked me out. The stipulation.
You got to be within 2 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some lenders, some parental lenders said, okay, but you got to give me grandkids.
Not a bad deal. All right. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, you're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps. Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Tacoma on June 4th, Mukilteo on June 6th, Lacey on June 9th, or Bellevue on June 13th. 6:30 p.m. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Spring is a season homeowners start improving their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. If your home needs roofing, siding, new windows, gutters, or decking, our team can take care of it all. For a limited time, save up to $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows project. Planning multiple upgrades? Combine your projects and save even more. Or with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. You can start your project now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Yeah, hi. I know it's late, but my water heater's leaking.
Don't worry, we can get a plumber out there fast.
Thanks.
You're welcome, and if it can be repaired, we'll take care of it. But if it's time to replace, you could save $200 on a new water heater right now. Plus, you may qualify for up to $1,000 in rebates, and we handle it start to finish.
Sweet.
Need a plumber fast? The CM Heating Plumbing Team is there when you need it most. Schedule now at cmheating.com.
There's no beating CM Heating.
CMHEA HL750 LLP.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Exact casualties not yet nailed down after today's chemical explosion at a pulp and paper mill in Longview, Washington. Over 10 people injured and more than one dead, say fire officials. Fire Chief Scott Goldstein.
Crews from our agencies have looked at the hazardous materials component as well as the structural concerns. That is why we are saying the incident is now stable.
They've cooled down the damaged chemical tank and eliminated the chance of a major explosion, say fire officials in Orange County, California, at the military aircraft factory. But there's still a chance of a leak or smaller blast, so not all evacuation orders are lifted. A major rebuff to an effort promoted by President Trump for the midterm elections. Proposed South Carolina congressional map that could have allowed Republicans to flip a Democrat seat has been killed by the Republican-controlled state Senate. Crude oil prices end over $90 a barrel. This is ABC News. The Supreme Court today refused to intervene in a discrimination lawsuit led by former Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores against the NFL. The league was trying to force the coaches into arbitration, but the high court ruling allows the lawsuit to go to trial. ABC News legal analyst and trial attorney Brian Buckmeyer.
What the courts are saying, because it's both the lower court and the appellate court, is say, hey, you might call it an arbitration, but the way in which you operate, the way in which it has to go up to the commissioner, and he's the kind of arbiter, for lack of a better term, of all things, that's not true arbitration as we consider it under the law, and therefore you cannot force him and others to do this arbitration.
The Trump administration wants all current and future federal employees to sign non-disclosure agreements in a continuing crackdown on leaks to the media. Opposed, their largest union saying that people do not surrender their First Amendment rights when they work for the government. Wall Street was mixed at the close today. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Coming up, more on that deadly explosion at a paper mill in Longview. But first, Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, let's start you down in Renton, where we just cleared our collision northbound 167, just past the 405 interchange there on Rainier Avenue South. So it now sits in the Gore Point, but no longer a blocking issue. Bellevue to Renton on 405 is up to a 20-minute drive. Still pretty crowded from Victoria to the Renton Landing. Here in Seattle, it's a 25-minute trip through downtown Seattle on North 5. Your scattered backup start before the West Seattle Bridge. South 5 starting to fill in from the south end of the Ship Canal down to the Convention Center. If you're heading through Sultan, the westbound 2, we're seeing a 3-mile solid backup through downtown Sultan, another backup through downtown Monroe. And then east of the mountains, Highway 2 has reopened at milepost 78 near Coles Corner following a 3-hour closure from an earlier collision. On the water, the Point Defiance Ferry Terminal has a 1-hour wait for drivers. And we're seeing some backups in both directions approaching the Hood Canal Bridge from a recent marine crossing. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Gornello, and as you heard from ABC News there, a major explosion in Longview has left multiple people dead and injured this morning. Authorities say a chemical tank ruptured just after 7 o'clock this morning at the Nippon Dynawave paper mill. This is Cowlitz Fire and Rescue Chief Scott Goldstein.
Unknown number of fatalities at this moment. As we said, we have confirmed that there are fatalities, but the exact number is undetermined.
Now, fire crews say at least 10 victims suffering a range of injuries, including severe chemical burns. Officials say there is no more immediate threats to the surrounding community. Pierce County deputies are searching for the suspects who robbed and killed a 17-year-old boy in Parkland on Sunday night. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch says they are asking for the public's help identifying a vehicle of interest.
Investigators say the victim, 17-year-old Braylon Daniel Diaz, was walking his girlfriend home around 7:30 when a car pulled up, called him over, robbed him of his jewelry, then shot him and drove off. It happened near 102nd Street South and Sheraton Avenue South. Deputies are now looking for a car of interest, a small red four-door sedan. You can see the picture at mynorthwest.com. Anyone with information or surveillance video should contact the Pierce County Sheriff's Office. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle City Council member Rob Saka is pushing to activate security cameras ahead of next month's World Cup events. Saka is urging the mayor to turn on the cameras in the stadium district now instead of waiting for a credible threat, as Mayor Wilson has directed.
Preparedness means planning for the worst-case scenario before, not after.
Saka says those cameras could help deter potential violent acts as large crowds arrive. The mayor has paused activation while a privacy review is underway. We have reached out to her office for comments. And a Seattle Sounder is heading to the FIFA World Cup. The U.S. men's national team announced today that midfielder Christian Roldan is on the final 26-player roster.
A bunch of different emotions came to me. Number one, excitement. This is something I've been waiting for a very long time. A dream come true.
It is the second straight World Cup call-up for Roldan. He also made the squad in Qatar in 2022. Roldan and Team USA will be in Seattle to face Australia on June 19th. A weather report now. After some morning rain and clouds, we will see some partly cloudy skies this afternoon. Highs topping out in the low 60s. We're up to 58 degrees now in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. A lot of stuff to get to. A lot of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, if you guys want to get in on this conversation, you can always text us, which is a fun feature. We like to read them. We like to read some of them out loud to the rest of the audience. Gives us a taste for how you guys are feeling about things. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Let's start with this one. This is kind of a fun one. I could see this being a disaster, but also I understand the impulse for this.
Okay.
Pike Place Market, not Pike's Place, but Pike Place.
Pike Place Market, well done.
Is going to do something new in that they're going to allow people walking through the market in certain areas, carrying certain types of cups to be sold from very specific vendors. You can be drinking alcohol now.
Sip and stumble.
Is it sip and stumble?
No, I'm sorry, sip and savor.
Oh,
I got that right. That was my fear.
Sip and stumble is a better name. It's a better advertising name. I think people it'd be like with a little wink, and they go, oh, okay. Yeah. But they're calling it the Sip and Stroll program. Kicks off June 5th through Labor Day. Obviously, they're trying to capture the World Cup crowd for this, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, well, plus, also, they want a walking experience in that historically beautiful Pike Place Market environment. Part of the reason they closed road traffic off a year ago was to open up that foot traffic to the markets, not just in the market proper under the clock, but across the street and at Post Alley. Oh, there's a great little
kind
business.
Of expands it out.
Yeah. And this new Sip and Savor. Let me make sure I get it right. Sip and Savor.
Sip and Stroll.
Not Stumble. Stumble never appears in here. You
got it wrong, as you said. I want to make sure you get it right. Sip and Savor.
Sip and Savor.
It's called the Sip and Stroll program.
Is it Stroll? Because it says I'm reading Savor.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, in the Seattle Times, they call it the Sip and Stroll.
Which Seattle?
Where are you seeing Sip and Savor?
Seattle Times.
You're sending two different messages, Times. All right, let's call it Sip and whatever.
See?
It's called Drink a Lot. That's what they're doing. Drinking a lot.
Sip and Stagger. That's
whatever
what it was. Sip and stagger.
Sip
That's
and
what
savor's great too. That's fine. That works.
It was according to the Pike Place Market PDA, which is not public display of alcoholism
Or affection.
It's Preservation and Development Authority.
Okay.
They feel that this will open up the market to a more congenial pal around. Yeah, and you have to buy from a specific vendor.
Sure.
You have to get a wristband showing that you are legal to possess alcohol in this little walkabout district down there. So my first thought when I saw this, oh great, public drinking in Pike Place. Great, that's what we needed.
Yeah.
Was public drinking. But they're gonna monitor it and control it with the use of wristbands.
I guess this makes sense. I mean, if you've ever been to the outskirts, and probably know what I'm talking about, the outskirts of Pike Place.
Yeah.
I assume those people are pretty heavily drinking and doing other things.
Yeah.
Very publicly.
Very.
It's strange to me that inside you would need a wristband to do this.
Yeah.
I didn't, because everywhere else, it's also why Pike Place, surrounding areas again, smells like people have sipped and stumbled and they have a different program on the outskirts. It's called the Sit and... No, just kidding. I hope this goes well for them.
Yeah, I hope
this goes well.
I hope it does too.
But yeah, I was just surprised that this was not already a thing that they were doing. I had just assumed that most people at Pike Place are,
Do you remember during COVID?
Drinking.
Do you remember during COVID when
nobody left their house and everybody got depressed?
When restaurants were allowed to sell alcohol to go.
Oh yeah.
Right? And when people put their when reopening came,
world's best idea.
when we started to reopen after COVID, but space was kind of restricted, proximity was restricted, capacity was restricted. They built all these little sidewalk parking strip cafes, if I may.
Yeah.
Right, seating in the street. And those kind of did pretty well. And they allowed alcohol to be drank on the sidewalks.
Sure.
Outside of venues.
For special circumstances, though. But I guess they're just realizing people like to drink outside during the summer.
And it didn't bring the pillars down. It wasn't the undoing of our society. There's other things doing that.
Yeah.
But people could drink responsibly in public.
Well, I mean,
and a lot of cities allow that. Vegas allows that, of course. New Orleans allows that, of course.
Most major parts of the city that you go to, especially on like a nighttime in the summer, especially on a weekend nighttime. Good luck finding a sober person.
Yeah, but you're not wandering around Belltown going from club to club with a drink in your hand.
Well, you're effectively doing the same thing because
you put the drink down. You have to leave it at the last bar and get a new one at the next bar.
But the argument against it is you don't want people outside who are stumbling around. But
it's okay.
That's what they're doing.
It's okay because they close the street. They're not going to stumble into traffic.
That's true.
That's the thing here.
Tourism has gone up. They said 5.6%. That's nice. That's a good thing.
And they've closed off that stretch of road there right in the face of the market.
Except for the vendors who need to have deliveries.
It will have delivery delivery trucks come through, and they're usually
somebody who's
chaperoned.
visiting from out of town and wants to park right in the middle of the road, they can no longer do that.
Right.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I mean, parking's tough, but whatever.
And there are residents that live down in that area too. There's about 450 residents, according to the story in the Times. Although they got the name wrong, so who knows if they got the number of residents right. They say there's about 450 residents that live down in the market area proper down there, and they need access as well to get to parking facilities that they have access to. So that's who comes. It won't be a completely blocked off street. At times it will.
Yeah.
At times they have these planters that they can forklift in and out of place to completely shut the street down.
Now, these are not the same planters that are trying to keep the pimps out.
No.
As in
these
other
are
parts
officially
of Seattle.
licensed. Plus, and the sip and stroll. Let's go with that, right? Sip and savor. I can't believe there's literally two different names in the different articles we're looking at from the Times.
Ridiculous.
It's
what
Friday,
does reporting come to?
It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it has to close by 5 o'clock, 4:30 p.m.
I just don't see,
noon to 4:30. Day drinking at the market.
How are they going to police this? Because I don't have a problem with this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying everywhere you go around it, they're just doing drugs openly. Who gives two cares about somebody sipping on a cocktail, walking around watching a fishmonger or buying flowers and drinking a cocktail? Like, that's the least offensive thing that could possibly happen down there. Why is this a new thing when you have people who are shooting up with an eyesight?
Okay,
just staring at you, making uncomfortable eye contact.
During the World Cup, World Cup at the Market, World Cup night at the Market, June 18th. Sip and Savor will be extended to 10 p.m. on June 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the World Soccer Day.
Sip and Savor till 10 p.m. and then from 10 o'clock till 6 in the morning.
And then after that,
fun and fentanyl.
Drinks go away. Yeah.
Fent flop hours at the Market. Sorry.
I like fun and fentanyl. You nailed it.
So much on there.
The problems
and you can
that
tell
area faces.
We're going to give everyone who has a fun and fentanyl thing. What are we going to give them instead of a wristband?
Just find it. You don't need to watch somebody because of a wristband. If you see somebody who's hunched sideways, who's just bent over,
you laugh so you don't cry
like
because
they are a toy soldier with his unwound.
The problems that area faces is public drinking.
Or he's
job one.
He's fine. He's fine.
Just go find it. You don't need to watch somebody because of a wristband. If you see somebody who's hunched sideways, who's just bent over,
that'll be fun. If you're in
like they are a toy soldier who has unwound.
Well, you take one of those bars
to the game,
crack in their
George.
Or he's been stamped.
If you are going to the game, you're not going to be put at Lumen Field.
We already gave him Narcan.
It's officially they yanked all the naming rights.
What a crazy world we live in.
But they're actually,
well, that'll be fun.
They're just going to
if you're in Pike Place.
Put big
Catching a
tarps
fish.
over the Lumen Field.
If you're going to the game,
big black tarps.
It doesn't make any sense to physically
if you are going to the game, you're not going to be doing it at Lumen
to
Field.
the side of the building.
See the story?
It's officially they yanked all the naming rights.
They did tarp over the roof already.
But they're actually
black tarps over the branded roof of that
field. Put big tarps over the Lumen
Field. Part of FIFA's agreement to have games in various cities. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to physically remove the letters that are attached to the side of the building or the sign that's out front of Lumen Field.
They
did tarp over the roof already. Big black tarps over the branded
different
roof
sponsors
that are
in the stadium that
part of FIFA's agreement to have
the stadium
games in various
Seattle
cities
Stadium
is that FIFA gets sold sponsorship rights. And it's not going to allow Lumen to get any kind of sponsorship marketing dollars out of a FIFA game. In fact, all the different sponsors that are in the stadium that pay to be seen inside the stadium, inside what is now Seattle Stadium, they've all been blacked over or retarped
part of the agreement
with sponsorship brands that Lumen generates.
Is that they are the
Lumen
sole
sells
branding
advertisement
agent
to various
so
vendors
all
like Coca-Cola.
we only do
you mean
business
FIFA?
with Coca-Cola.
FIFA is another one. FIFA's making all the marketing dollars.
A lot of different
part of the agreement that
venues
cities get into with
naming rights.
Part of the agreement with FIFA is that they are the sole branding agent.
So
they sell all advertising.
We only do business with Coca-Cola.
Right. You're not going to have a Mountain Dew sign. Yeah, but Adidas is another one. Yes.
After it's over.
You're not going to have these. A lot of different venues have agreements
in your city
with naming rights or vendor agreements.
You know, the eyeballs equals dollars to advertisers.
86 those. That was the agreement you reached into with FIFA to get FIFA.
In every
way it's going, we may need FEMA after it's over. With FIFA, to get a games in your city as you relinquish those eyeballs. You know, the eyeballs equals dollar signs to advertisers.
There's also stuff that's required
FIFA will make all that money. All the different branding agreements they've got with their partners.
There's a certain type of very specific grass field that they play on that
the
you don't have
FIFA
here,
stuff,
so they have to put in
signs and to black those
millions
out.
And millions of dollars. The city's
all the
invested
different changes required.
$47 million required. The figure that I saw.
They call the football field.
Is that going to be a good investment? Because
there's a
all of
certain
these
type
stories, we
of
talked
very
about
specific grass field that they play on that we don't have here.
Hotel bookings
are
not
put in a new that
really that exciting.
Millions and millions of dollars. The city's invested like
booking
$47 million was the figure that I saw.
2 weeks ago, the story came in.
The question is that going to be a good investment? Because all of these stories we talked about
even less than a normal summer, because people were scared off. A lot of the hotels,
hotel bookings are not
these amazing record-breaking numbers that everybody was pitched.
People don't seem to be booking,
Visit Seattle or whoever it was.
2 weeks ago, the story came in. 80% of hotels say it's a non-event.
Even less than a normal summer, because people have been scared off. A lot of the hotels in anticipation for these amazing record-breaking numbers that everybody was pitched.
You're going to make
Visit Seattle or whoever it was, whatever organization put this out there.
FIFA came to town and talked to Visit Seattle and said there's a FIFA
which makes sense
in every market.
Only if the crowds show
telling
up.
folks what they require, working with local municipalities and local governments.
I felt back since Q13 article.
You're going to make guarantee there's going to be like 750,000 people coming into town. They're going to spend $1 billion. So some small investment up front is going to make sense because you're going to recoup all of that, yada, yada. Which makes sense. And I understand. Only if the crowds show up. And then if they don't show up, what happens? happens.
Only
I
multiple
felt bad
Super
in this
Bowls
Q13
because you
article,
have 60
they talked to a number of different
in this city
places,
alone within
and
5
one
weeks.
employee at a place. I don't want to name
We
them.
got 3 weeks until
the business,
World Cup
but
kicks
it's
off
a
locally.
collectibles
Seattle,
shop.
according to the
And
various
they
news
said,
stories,
we have been
is
told
ranked number
it is
1
the
for the most
equivalent
accessible
of a
city for
Super
people to
Bowl.
come in,
Only
enjoy the
multiple
World Cup,
Super Bowls
and
because you have
go
6
around
teams.
and watch
in this
fish
city
and
alone
drink at
within
a
5 weeks.
Now, here's my question to
Attend
you.
massive
We got 3
viewing
weeks
parties
until the
scheduled
World
in
Cup kicks
town
off.
for
All the
folks who
various
don't even get
things.
tickets to the
Seattle,
game.
according to the
But
various news stories,
do you think
is
that it
ranked number
compares
1
on
for the
same
most
level
accessible
with
city for people to
multiple
come
Super
in,
Bowls being in
enjoy the
town? Like
World
if
Cup,
Seattle hosted
and
the Super Bowl,
go around and watch fish.
I just have an
and drink at
instinct
a
that there would
Pike place.
be
Attend
more
massive
excitement
viewing
for it than
parties
I'm seeing
scheduled
for
in town
World Cup.
All
for
the
folks who
various
don't even get
things.
tickets
I
to
think
the
that's a
game.
fair
But
assessment of the
Do
situation
you
because,
think
as
that
we
it
said many times,
compares on the
Americans
same
have a
level
love
with
affair with
multiple
soccer.
Super
Yes,
Bowls
and it
being
has
in
with
town? Like if
football.
Seattle hosted the
But
Super Bowl,
earlier today,
I just
said
have an
a
instinct
World Cup game is
that there
probably
would
going to be the
be
equivalent
more
of
excitement for it than
the
I'm seeing
Major
for
All-Star game
World
that came here
Cup
last
right
year.
now.
I think that's a fair
Right? I mean, it's going to be
assessment of the
that big of an
situation because, as we've said many times,
We
Americans
should look
doesn't
that
have a
up.
love
Keep
affair with
making your point,
soccer.
but I'm going to look up and see
that
how
it
many
has
people
with
came to
football.
Seattle for the
But
All-Star
it's
game.
earlier today I said
you're talking
a World
about
Cup
a sold-out stadium for the most part, whether tickets are had at last-minute bargains.
last year.
As a lot of people think the hotel rooms,
Right? I mean, it's going to be that big of an impact game on the
city.
People, we should look that up. Keep making your point. But I'm going to look up and see how many people
came to Seattle for the All-Star game.
Yeah.
I bet it's.
I mean,
going to be the
you're
equivalent
talking about a
financially
sold-out
and
stadium for the most part. I mean,
transport-wise
whether
of an
tickets
All-Star
are had at last-minute bargains.
So here's a
as a lot of
number
people think
that
hotel
you're not
rooms,
gonna love.
people are going to be making some last-minute
You
decisions
know how
as
many
prices
out-of-town
drop.
tourists, according
It's going
to
to kind of
very
save some of the
reputable news
fear
source,
of it being a complete bust.
came from out of town.
I bet it's going to be the equivalent financially and fan support-wise of an All-Star game.
Under 100,000,
Okay,
maybe 80,000.
so here's the number that
Between 100 and 150,000.
Okay.
That's
Do you know how many out-of-town tourists, according to very reputable news sources,
that's a week, right? All-Star
came
week.
from out of
Yeah,
town.
but there's other
visited
stuff leading
Seattle
up to,
for
but there's not a lot to
2023
do.
MLB
But there's like
All-Star
a home
Week.
run derby.
I guess
There's
it's
an All-Star
under
game.
100,000, maybe
There
80,000.
is- I think it's a future
Between 100 and 150,000.
Okay,
baseball.
that's
down.
for one day.
But
one game.
imagine
Well,
having six
weekends were the
different
fun.
times.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
nobody
that's a
else
week.
there.
That's a week, right? All-Star
That
week.
was for the
Yeah, but there's all
All-Star
this
game,
stuff
right?
leading up
But
to
they're
it. There's
telling
a
us
lot to
that that
do.
number
But
is
there's like a home run derby.
750,000
There's the All-Star game.
Now with the
There is.
100,
This is a futures game or
150,000 who
something.
came in,
Aaron
there's
can tell us.
multiple
Where's my
events.
baseball expert when he can
There's
do it?
47,000
But now
that fit
imagine
in
happening
T-Mobile
6
Park
different
for the
times.
home run derby and the All-Star
it's gonna
game,
be bigger.
which I assume are those
Than
are
it was for the
different
All-Star
I
days.
assume it was
right?
bigger,
So
but
that
they're
accounts
telling
for
us that
a fair
number is
number of those tickets.
750,000 people.
But we're saying
Now with the 100 and 150,000 who came in, there's multiple events.
as are available.
There's 47,000 who can fit into T-Mobile Park for the home run derby and the All-Star game, which I assume are
T-Mobile
those are different
does,
days.
Different days,
right?
yeah.
And you have
So
6
that
different
accounts
dates
for
of
a
those
fair number
numbers.
of those
Yeah,
tickets.
total tickets are like 420.
And
They're
but we're saying
expected to
FIFA
sell out.
is basically
And
saying
whatever they
like
get for face
double
value,
the
they'll
tourists
still
are going to
sell
come
them
in
out.
as
Every
are
game's
available
gonna
for
be
tickets.
A stadium that
practical,
holds
sell it all
20,000 or
purposes.
more,
Sure.
more
Yeah, it must
than
be. If you don't sell, I mean,
T-Mobile
at an
does,
MTC, at
right?
World Cup,
And you have
right,
6
someone's
different
gonna
dates
last-
of those
pick the last
numbers.
minute.
Yeah,
Even
total
if-
tickets are like
I was talking about last
420.
week, you
Yeah,
sell
they're
them, and they're
expected
If
after
they
to
sell them
sell
out,
them
yeah.
out.
And whatever they get for face value, they'll still sell them out. I think every game's going to be practical, sell it all intents and purposes.
It'll
Sell
be
out, right?
like
It must
some
be.
handballs.
If
You
you don't
don't
sell,
like
I mean,
a Super Bowl, but you're not going to
World
6
Cup,
times the
So
amount
pick it
of
up last,
revenue
last
generate for
minute.
the
Even
Super
after I
Bowl.
was talking to Mike Lewis,
It's a big time
down there
event,
after the
6
game
different
tips
times.
off.
Yeah,
Or,
and that probably parallels the All-Star
soccer game.
6 different times.
Kicks off.
Here's a question.
We're a
though.
baseball
the-
country. Funny if it was. It's
Yeah,
It'll be like a
two handballs.
It'll be like a Super Bowl, but you're not going to
They're
make
lowering
6 times
projections
the
on
amount of
revenue generated and
generated for the
attendance and the whole
Super
9
Bowl.
yards.
Yeah,
It's a
They've
big time
increased the
event
amount of money
6
that you had
different
to invest
times.
to get these
An event that probably
opportunities.
parallels the All-Star
90
game
yards?
6 different times. Here's a question, though. I
baseball country.
So
we would have more for
the question is, with couple that with how much you're going to make. How much
they're lowering
spend,
projections on revenue generated and attendance and the whole 9
because they avoided our busiest
They've increased the amount of money the city had to invest
because of
to get
fear of not being able to get in town. And
the whole 90
World
yards.
Cup's going to be there. I'm not going to see for those 6 weeks. At what point is it a
the
good
question is,
business
with
decision
you
for us to
couple
have
that
done
with
this?
how much you're going to make. How
It's
much
the
you
kind
had to
of thing,
spend?
unfortunately,
Couple
we
that
won't know
with how many
until
tourists
months
didn't come to
after.
town
When all
because
the
they avoided
reasons
our
come in,
busiest
when
season.
business started.
And then you got a fear of not being able to get in town and
great
World Cup's going to be there. I'm not going to Seattle for those 6 weeks. At what point is it a good business decision for us to have done this?
We made drinking accessible.
It's the kind of thing,
Drink
unfortunately,
it,
we won't know
I
until
don't know,
months
like
after.
place.
When all
If
the
people
receipts come in, businesses start.
and then you got to factor in the
That's
people
what
who
they
came for
want.
the World Cup
Yeah.
had a great
That would be
experience
nice
because we got rid of all the homeless.
We'll see what happens.
We cleaned up the city.
You're optimistic.
Tents and the
probably
graffiti.
won't go.
We made
and
drinking accessible in bike place.
Drink for the rest of us, at least go and take a look at the World
But if
Cup.
somebody offered you $100
ticket
to go see a World Cup game, you'd probably go.
That's what they want.
You don't want to go by yourself.
That would be nice
Yeah.
if they did.
You
We'll
want
see
to
what
take
happens.
it.
I'm optimistic.
You're optimistic.
I'm
You get a free shuttle.
Even if I probably won't go.
It's a great transition.
And I'll probably,
It's a
like
free
you mentioned
shuttle
earlier,
to
regret for the
fly
rest
for
of my
going
life
to
I didn't
China.
at least go down there and take a look at the
Chinatown
World
If
Cup.
somebody
International
offers you a
District
$100
is,
ticket to go see
free
a World Cup
shuttles
game,
to King
I'd
County
go.
Metro.
But you'd want to get two. You don't
So
want to go by
people can
yourself.
experience
Yeah.
the
You
CID.
want to get two tickets.
Is it coming
Oh,
around?
they're going to show up people. We're going to drive.
You can get a
roll
free
people
shuttle.
through. CID.
It's a great
Yep,
transition. It's a free
Check it
shuttle.
out. International
to-
District.
Well, if
Yeah.
you're
So
going
what's
to
up?
China,
Won't say anything else about it.
Chinatown
Good
International
food down there.
District
It is
is
good.
free shuttles through King County
I have.
Metro,
Really good.
so that people can
Check it out.
experience the CID.
We
Oh,
have.
they're going to shut up people. We're going to drive, roll
Should we play
people
this
through.
Bernie clip? This would be fun.
Yeah.
Coming
Oh,
up.
yeah,
the international.
You know what?
Check
We
it
talked
out.
last week a little bit about Jeff
Yeah, that's where
Bezos.
what's
and
up.
you
You won't say
can
anything
charge
else
me double,
about it.
wouldn't make any
Good food
difference.
down there.
It is
A lot
good.
of people have some things to say about that.
They have Bernie Sanders.
Bernie
one of those
Sanders,
people.
yeah.
And
He's always
check it
got
out.
something to say.
I think we should
All right,
crunch the numbers on this.
we
Sure.
have-
It's be fun. Bernie
Can we play
Sanders
this
wants
Bernie
wealth
clip? This
tax.
would be fun. Coming up.
yeah,
People think it's
you
a
know
good
what? We
idea.
talked last week a little
We'll
bit about Jeff
discuss the merits
Bezos,
when
and
we
it's
come
like
back.
you can charge me double, wouldn't make any difference.
Yeah.
A lot of people have had some things to say about that.
They have, and Bernie Sanders is
Bernie
one of those
Sanders,
people.
yeah, he's always got something.
I think we should crunch the numbers on this.
Sure.
This would be fun. Bernie Sanders wants a wealth tax. A lot of
This
people
hour
think
is
it's a good
brought to
idea.
you by
We will
Davis
discuss
Law
the
Group.
merits when we get back. Stick around.
Choke Points with Chris Sellers.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's
This
really
hour is
easy to
brought
get
to
a hold
you
of me.
by Davis Law Group.
TheMyNorthwest.com. We have direct links
Choke
there that
Points
gets
with
right
Chris
to me. You
Sullivan.
can also With do it Choke in the Points, app. we try to Hit me answer up on the listeners' text line. questions.
Choke
It can be as
Points,
simple
presented
as
by
a neighborhood
Car
stop
Subaru.
sign, or it can
Tuesdays
be
and
as
Thursdays
big as
on
the budget for
KIRO
transportation. I don't
Newsradio
care. I'll find the answer for you.
97.3
It's
FM.
really
Hey, Don,
easy
why
to
don't
get
you
a
tell
hold of me.
everybody why you started going
TheMyNorthwest.com. We have a
longevity
direct
medical
link there that
clinic?
gets
I tell
right
you,
to me.
I
You can
started
also
going
do it in
longevity
the
medical
app. You can
clinic
hit me up
before
on
I
the text
started
line.
these
Choke
commercials, but
Points,
that's why I
presented
win
by
is not
Carter
important.
Subaru.
Tuesdays and Thursdays on
Okay, I'll tell you.
KIRO. I was a member, city council member, and whenever they asked me to do the
Hey,
Pledge
John,
of
why don't you
Allegiance,
tell
I couldn't make it
everybody
through the
why
whole
you
thing
started
without
going to
crying.
longevity
No, I don't
medical
want to do
clinic?
that. I can tell you, I started going to longevity medical clinic before I started doing these commercials, but then why I went is not important.
Oh,
And I
it
explained this to them that there's
absolutely
something wrong with my hormones or something. I was a city council member, and whenever they asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into longevity medical clinic, and I explained this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with
Yes.
because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while Other companies might deliver a lot of hay. ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
John Curley here. This baseball season, step up to the plate and get the price of a new heating and cooling system in just 60 seconds on your phone with no pressure. Don't wait. Call the comfort people. HomeComfortAlliance.com. That's HomeComfortAlliance.com.
The Harnish Auto Family Super Sale is on now. Don't miss out on 0 down, no payments all summer, and exclusive deals through May 31st. Visit them in Puyallup and Everett. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
Offers available OAC on select models. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. An unknown number of people are dead, 10 more taken to hospitals after an implosion at a factory in Longview this morning. ABC's Alex Stone has the latest.
The injuries range from critical to minor, and searches have been underway for missing workers at the pulp and paper mill. A tank imploded that was filled with a compound used in the paper-making process. Fire Chief Scott Goldstein says there is no further risk.
Crews from our agencies have looked at the hazardous materials component as well as the structural concerns. That is why we are saying the incident is now stable.
Emergency operations at the site are ongoing. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Fewer insurance options and higher costs may be ahead for Washington. Providence Health Plan is leaving the individual market next year. 13 other insurers are requesting an average rate hike of more than 22%. The State Insurance Commission says each rate increase request will be scrutinized before they are approved ahead of the open enrollment session this fall. Seattle police are working with Vancouver, BC investigators on a north-of-the-border cold case. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports the case may involve a woman with ties to Seattle.
In 2022, an unidentified woman was found dead in the water off Spanish Banks in English Bay, British Columbia. She had an inflatable kayak and backpack, but no ID. A specialized pollen analysis suggests she may be from Seattle or another Pacific Northwest city. So investigators like Sergeant Adam Donaldson with the Vancouver BCPD are here looking for clues.
We know based on this science that her sweater at least had some exposure to your neck of the woods, and we're here to investigate that lead.
You can see the woman's picture at mynorthwest.com. If you recognize her, call 911. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Meta is cutting nearly 1,400 jobs in Washington. The parent company of Facebook notified the states, saying affected positions are based in Seattle, Bellevue, Redmond, and also remote roles. Those job cuts are expected to start July 22nd. Earlier this month, Meta announced it would cut about 10% of its global workforce. That's about 8,000 jobs. Now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Bellevue to Renton on 405 is a 20-minute trip. Pretty thick now as you make your way through Factoria. At about 112th, it turns into scattered backups down to the Renton Landing. North 405, pretty heavy through the Renton S-curves. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway at 40 minutes. We've got scattered slowing in the north end from Renton Skorheim into Auburn, and then heavy volumes from State Route 18 into Sumner. Seattle to Federal Way is a 25-minute commute. 25 minutes to get through downtown Seattle on North 5. Scattered backup starting just before the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal Bridge. South 5 just a little crowded between 520 and I-90. Nothing real heavy here. And the Point Defiance Ferry Terminal still reporting a 1-hour wait for drivers. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Partly cloudy skies for the rest of this afternoon, drying out for the next few days as well. Low 70s for Wednesday and Thursday. Right now, 58 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We do a lot of local stuff here. This is kind of I'd say this kind of bridges local to national. Last week we talked a little bit about Jeff Bezos, who was on CNBC, former Washington resident. Now he's a Florida guy. Jeff Bezos was on CNBC. He had said some things that were, he talked about how governments, if they were run like a business, would be more efficient, yada, yada. I mean, common things. People make those arguments all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to agree with those. There's other people who disagree.
I tend to disagree with them, but that's why we makes us us.
That's why we're like Laverne and Shirley.
Schlemiel, Schlemazel.
What's the rest of it?
Hassenpfeffer Incorporated. We're going to do
What's Hassenpfeffer? Hassenpfeffer. Is that a sausage?
I'm not sure. It's a very Wisconsin type thing.
Okay.
Milwaukee-based.
Sounds like a sausage.
Lore. Look at her who's just laughing. Look at the old guys. You can almost
I'm
smell
not old. I'm young. Aaron and I are the same
Look at the
age.
old guy. Pardon me.
We're young.
The old guy.
We know the Laverne
you can
and Shirley. I
almost
just don't
smell
know
the dust when Spike talks. Coming through your radio.
Here's the thing.
And all you ships at sea.
Here's the thing. Jeff Bezos, CNBC, Danny Westney had an article. He did not like what Jeff Bezos said.
Stuff I've been saying for months and months and months.
I disagree with what Danny Westney said, but that's who cares. His example in the article in the Seattle Times piece is he's comparing, because Jeff Bezos made some comments about how New York State spends $44,000 per student, which is like almost double what Washington spends. Still very high. Washington spends, like Danny Westney said it was 22. I actually think the number's higher. I think it's like 26 in King County, but maybe if you average all of Washington State, let's call it 22.
Okay.
So in New York, they spend $44,000, and they have just abysmal results. Graduation rates, reading rates, all those things, abysmal. And the example that Westney gives in his article about why he disagrees with this, he says, Jeff Bezos sent his kids to Lakeside, which is like, what is it, $58,000 a year. I don't have the number in front of me. I think it's somewhere around there. Very expensive. It's obviously like one of the best schools in the country. Bill Gates is a product of Lakeside.
Oh, it's a dream.
Who's the other guy? Wasn't it Paul Allen?
I think Paul Allen probably went to eat Lakeside.
I think Paul Allen and Bill Gates met as a result of Lakeside. Jeff Bezos sent his kids there, yada, yada, whatever. It's a very good school. The thing is about Lakeside is they have very high graduation rates. You could probably stack Lakeside's results up against anybody in the state, and they would probably fare better.
Sure.
Which is fine. It's also a private institution, so it's not apples to apples. So
they get to pick who gets in. They have higher standards of enrollment.
Yeah, you have to be able to pay for it, which is a big one. They can also offer scholarships.
You also have to be a pretty good student with a pretty good record of committing to your academic endeavors.
I have some friends. I have some friends who went to Lakeside. Part of the process to get into Lakeside was, can you play an instrument? Like they had to show
a well-rounded student. So when they have graduation rates that are through the roof, it's because these are from
high-level families,
high-capacity families,
who have high standards for their own kids. So whatever. Yeah. So it's like I didn't.
Two working parents, latchkey kids don't, unless they can really kick a ball.
Well, they might be great students, and then maybe Lakeside offers them a scholarship.
Sure.
I don't know, but I didn't feel like the comparison was exact. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. That leads us to this Bernie clip, which he was at a rally for Graham Plattner.
Fight oligarchy was the Fight oligarchy.
Okay,
rally.
So he's talking about billionaires. I thought this would be interesting to play and just talk about a little bit. He wants to do this 5%. He's pushing a 5% annual tax on the wealth of
annual wealth tax,
the wealthiest, which I think is a disaster of an idea. Before we listen to the clip, do you like the idea or no?
Love it.
You love the idea.
Love the idea.
Perfect.
I
hate it. You
they
love
don't pay
it.
their fair share.
Oh my gosh.
I love poking you with a stick. It's the greatest. Go on.
You don't think they pay their fair share?
All right,
let's hear Bernie, and then let's talk about their fair share next. We're going to crunch some numbers, but here's Bernie.
I introduced recently legislation to establish a 5% annual wealth tax on the 938 billionaires in America who collectively are worth more than $8 trillion. This is a 5% tax on fewer than 1,000 billionaires on their wealth. Now, my opponents, of which there are many, claim that this legislation is punitive and confiscatory. Oh, we're just picking on these poor billionaires. I mean, my God.
Oh,
how cruel can you be?
I cannot listen to him without saying Larry David. I just cannot do it.
You know what? You know what you should try? Have some soup. When you listen to him, if you're having soup, it makes more sense.
It works. Okay.
It makes more sense.
But I want you to hear this. This just shows you how crazy the economy is today. If that bill were in effect this year, Elon Musk would pay $39 billion more in taxes. But here's the punchline. This confiscatory, terrible, drastic, radical piece of legislation would leave Musk with just $737 billion left to survive. Now, I know you're worried about him. But what do you think? Think he can make it on $737 billion? Yeah, maybe.
Ha-ha!
Have some soup.
All right, so what do you think? Good idea, bad idea? What do you think?
You know,
I know you love this. Tell us how much you love this, and I'll tell you how much I hate it.
Because the exceedingly wealthy, Bill Maher had a statement recently. Goes, millionaires like me, we pay through the nose, but when you get to a certain stratospheric level of income, and like Bernie's talking about, billionaires.
Yeah, those darn billionaires.
Well, they don't get paid.
Pulling their weight.
They don't get paid like you or I get paid.
Yeah,
they don't get paid on taxable income.
I understand.
Oftentimes, their income
taking out
is
loans. Got it.
Well, they got right. So they don't pay taxes on a large the vast majority of what they make. And it wasn't always that way. And our society didn't have these huge gaps in income, these income inequality that we experience in today's society.
Do you think that billionaires are a net positive or a negative for society?
Of course they're a net positive. If they paid 5% more in their taxes, would they still be a net positive? Would they still be able to do business?
Annually, you think that's a good idea? Annually, 5% annually. So next year, you've already paid taxes on this net worth. Annually, the next year, 5% again.
If maybe I misunderstand the concept. It's what you made that year. Is it 5% of your total income every year?
So in California,
your total worth.
In California, they want you to do a one-time payment. Yeah, right, one time
of your total worth,
net worth 5%.
Okay.
Now, of course, they would run out of that money very quickly, and then they would go for it again. Yeah, they would go for it.
Oh, you mean California? I thought you meant billionaires 5% every year for 20 years.
He's saying a 5% net worth per year annually. Now, this would be, he mentions here Elon Musk. He used as an example. He says he would only have $760 billion left if he did this. Here's the problem I have with this. Elon Musk does not have $800 billion. He has investments in his company. Those investments
are unrealized. Yeah,
unrealized gains.
Yeah.
You haven't. Well, no, but he's selling it to people as if Elon Musk has $800 million liquid, and then people who don't think much about things hear that and they go like, "Yeah, screw those guys."
Yeah, it's an applause line.
It's an applause line. It's an emotional argument, and I understand it, and it's an effective one, but it's not practical for him to just say, hey, billionaires should just foot the bill for everything. Elon Musk has 3 big companies. He has Tesla, which employs 134,000 people. He has SpaceX, which employs 18,000 people. And he has X, which employs 1,800 people. It used to be more, but he cut the dead weight there. So at Tesla, which has hired 7% more people than it did last year, the average salary there is over $100,000. Those are good paying jobs. All those people pay taxes. At SpaceX, the average salary is $140,000. All those people pay taxes. At X, the average salary $122,000. And what makes people like Bernie mad is that those companies like Tesla paid 0 federal income last year. Why is that a problem that they paid 0 federal income?
Because they turned a profit.
$5.7 billion.
In profit.
Let me ask you this question.
After they paid all their employees.
Let me ask you this question.
Sure.
Do you think a company should have to pay taxes? Have you ever heard of carry forward? Do you know what carry forward is?
No.
Net operating.
She was a queen, Princess Leia.
She was Princess Leia, exactly. So something called net operating loss. So like you can carry forward losses from previous years.
Yeah, I am familiar with that.
So it encourages companies like Tesla, who was founded in 2003. They didn't make a profit until 2020. So for 17 years, they ran a deficit, losing billions and billions of dollars, paid high salaries, invested in local infrastructure, did all those things, paid those jobs. For 20 years, they took a loss, and then they started making money. Should you be able to hold on to some of those debts and use those in years where you are profitable to pay down some of your?
I'm not enough.
Well, no, I'm just saying. Do you think
expert.
that's a good idea or a bad idea?
I don't know enough to speak intelligently on it. Don't know.
I'm not asking you to be intelligent. I'm just asking you to be Spike.
If you lost money for 20 years,
17 years you lose money.
Before they start taking any profit, let's pay me back for all those years I lost money.
Yes.
That seems like a good idea.
That's all they're doing. That's what Bernie's complaining about. He's saying that's illegal and they shouldn't be able to do that. Tesla is writing down from previous years' losses on 17 years of investments into good-paying high jobs, local communities, and they're now saying, like, hey, now that we're finally making money, which they didn't do until 2020, now that we're finally making money, we're going to recoup some of the money that we lost, and then in future years, we're going to pay that money. We're going to pay more taxes when we have, higher profits.
I think it's a lot of hyperbole involved in Bernie Sanders' statements.
88 other companies that he's not talking about also do this. Here's some of the big ones: Southwest Airlines, United Airlines, Live Nation, Yum Brand Foods, which includes KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, 3M, Hasbro, GoDaddy, PayPal, Winnebago Industries, and Disney, Walt Disney Corporation.
How much of this carrying losses, right? How much of this is them hiding tax money? How much is him just manipulating a system that avoids paying any responsibility back to society to help them make all their money?
It's incredibly difficult to do a business because you are taking all the risk and you pay out a lot of money. Disney invests in tons of movies every year and employing lots of people that suck and they don't make money, but they get to stay in business because they can write off some of those losses. I don't think that's such a bad thing.
It's not.
So Bernie's complaining about something that he well knows is just an emotional argument that doesn't make practical sense. But we disagree on that.
Hey, again, I don't know enough to speak intelligently, but that's why I have this job.
That's what this show's about.
Fair enough.
All right, let's do text next. Stick around.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Well, the rainy season's behind us, we hope. How'd your house fare this year? How'd your home do in the rainy season? Do you even know? Why don't you call Integrity Roofing and Construction today and book yourself a free video inspection? Have them take a look. See how your home did. Make sure it's ready for the next Northwest winter. Integrity Roofing and Construction offers free video inspections, free assessments of your home. They have a design department in-house. You want to make some restorations to the home? They can do it all for you, and their reviews are phenomenal. Integrity RC is the website, integrityrc.com, or give them a call, 206-202-ROOF.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go to Longevity Medical Clinic, take the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts for you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com. When Dennis suggested retirement planning to his wife, Linda, she had the same reaction lots of people do.
Do we really need it?
Then they attended a free seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich at LifePoint Law.
He asked me, what do you want? And he truly listened. And at the end of it, it was like, we need to do this.
There are many people on the radio that speak about many things. And when we got here and actually worked with the team that Rajiv has put together, it turns out that it is not just talk, it is action.
And in the worst case?
I said to him, if something happens to Dennis, what would I do exactly? And he said, you pick up the phone and you call Rajiv or you call me. And that right there was like peace of mind.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Tacoma on June 4th, Mukilteo June 6th, Lacey June 9th, or Bellevue June 13th, 6:30 p.m. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Amazon Business with smart business buying. Innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Guys, it's Men's Health Month at Revive Washington. Start treatment and get a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. Check testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, and more. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions, D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Welcome back to the show. Got a lot of stuff to get to. We got a lot of text messages. People were very fiery in their texts today. Very good.
You know what that is?
What? What?
That's the cast. That's the Broadway cast of Six.
I have no idea what that is.
Six
There's
is
to explain to the audience what you're describing.
Some days we try to Some days we try to mix up in here in the studio. We'll put on various news organizations,
sports,
sports. Oftentimes we didn't touch the TV today.
Yeah,
it was just left on for local programming. And the Kelly Clarkson show was on
TV.
And on there is a production of the Broadway musical Six, which is the story of the six wives of Henry VIII.
I don't.
It's a great musical. It's a great musical. But there are six highly decorated, made up women dancing on screen, and Jake goes, "What did you put on? I didn't put this on." But that's what this is. It's the
all right. Well, now we know, and now they know.
Yeah.
Let's get to these text messages. Thank you guys so much. Let's start us off, Laura, with the World Cup stuff.
A World Cup flop. 425 says, just get on board with the fun.
Just get on board. Just do it. And spend money.
Hey, Sue says it's going to be a bust in the States. Politics and cost.
It's not in American culture to care this much about soccer. And so to compare it to other World Cups, it's going to fall flat.
But it's going to be successful. It's going to be still. The city's not going to lose money hosting World Cup. America's not going to lose money hosting the World Cup.
America might not. Seattle might.
You think Seattle's going to come?
I don't know.
Oh, that's okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
See what happens. 425 says, my daughter and son-in-law bought a condo in Whistler just to see the 2010 Olympics. It was great, and they sold the condo afterwards. That's pretty sweet.
Rub it in. Sure.
That is a high-level move.
Yeah.
To buy a condo just to watch the Olympics. You could buy it and rent it out. Although there are, I don't know if that would actually pan out, but I'm glad it worked out for them. Good job.
On activating CCTV cameras during the World Cup, Donald from North Everett says, if horrible people know that cameras aren't being used, what does the mayor think will happen? Just that knowledge is a threat.
100%.
You said the same thing earlier.
Yes. Yes, this is common sense. You have Rob Saka, Seattle City Council member. He's on the Seattle Public Safety Commission Board, whatever it's called. What is it called? I have the name of it here.
I think it's Public Safety Commission, right?
Public Safety Commission. Let's say that's it.
Yeah.
Public Safety Committee. He's saying, you got to turn these cameras on. You got to be safe. He ran in the Boston Marathon. He was there the day that the bombs went off, and the Tsarnaev brothers thankfully were caught because they were on camera. And
the mayor's saying we're not going to run these surveillance cameras because the Trump administration won't guarantee they will not use these cameras for immigration enforcement.
Everybody, the state laws protecting all that stuff now. Just turn the cameras on for crying out loud. Go do the Longview one. That's
Longview superintendent being jailed. 253 says, how many years will she get paid while we wait until her day in court?
That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder what the clause in that looks like in her contract. Her next day in court is June 10th. So we'll find out what happens there. Former King County Sheriff John Urquhart. Did he text us?
Yep.
Mandatory reporting is state law, not just school policy.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is why she was arrested.
Exactly. I mean, I don't have some lawyer tell me what to do. How about the law?
Yes.
Can the law tell you what to do? It's gonna.
She should have consulted a lawyer for sure. But yes, she's the boss of the school district. That's her job. She needs to be reporting. When there's a rape allegation out there, that's crazy. On LaConner's new noise ordinance, 425 says the decibel level in my car in the interior with the radio off is 74 decibels. What can you do at 50 decibels?
Actually, 55 is the city ordinance in LaConner, barring a summer concert series that's been going on for years. 55 is soft speech. That's what 55 decibel level is.
It's no good.
Soft speech. A lawnmower is 90.
Yeah.
Gary says only whispering is allowed on the streets of LaConner. A song comes to mind, The Sound of Silence. I prefer the Simon and Garfunkel version. So,
ironically, they would not be allowed to perform. That song would be too loud there.
Of LaConner.
It's a really good
Mark
song.
Nisqually says maybe some people are tired of 15 plus Harleys and one dancing queen making too much noise. Oh, thanks a lot, Mark.
It's not very nice,
Mark. It's my biker name.
What, do you hate money? Oh, you're the dancing queen.
I'm dancing queen.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Let's see here. On Neighbors made barricades to block Aurora gun violence from pimps. Max in the 203 says there's the North Precinct police station just 3 minutes away. Just 3 minutes, if that, by a cop car. From there, residents need to write up a petition, go after the city council, and sue the heck out of the mayor and the city and Seattle police. Simple. All interesting ideas, Max. Thank you so much.
On Caviar Pizza, Destiny in Seattle says, fun fact about fish eyeballs, they contain fresh water, no salt. So people lost at sea will crave eating them without knowing why, and it saves their lives until being rescued.
Fantastic. Let's end
Fish
on that
eyeballs have fresh water in them?
So smart.
I had no idea.
That's great. It's a Bear Grylls kind of thing. I like it.
Thanks, Destiny.
Thank you guys so much. John Curley's coming up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow. It's going to be another great show. We hope to see you then. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
I need an AC tune-up, and one room isn't comfortable.
We could do both. And if it's time to upgrade, get a free furnace with a qualifying cooling system. Plus, we help maximize rebates.
Get a tune-up or free estimate at cmheating.com. CMH EA HL751LW.
Hey, Dad, have you heard the news from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services?
No, I haven't.
Eggs have climbed higher than ever on the new food pyramid. And that's great news for anyone who loves starting the day strong.
Well, at Wilcox Family Farms, we make it easy with our ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs. They're a delicious, protein-packed snack you can grab on the go. Now ranked higher than ever.
Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Holy smokes!
The On Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show.
What happened at the ballpark yesterday?
Sparky's sitting on my scorebook here, my cat.
Friday mornings at 8:15 on Seattle's Morning News.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see. They know. They hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to